Peace Family 19 Keys tapping in. I'm about to give you all special access behind the scenes. Right now, we're doing a webinar on how to buy land, specifically how to get hold of an acre of land, right? I have my brothers Acre Boys on the line. This is behind the scenes, high level club, but I'm about to give you all access and I'm going to share my screen with you all so that you can get some of this game as well. Typically, I don't share what's going on in the high level club, but I feel like this game is too good not to let everybody in. So this is what I'm about to do right now. I'm about to share some of my Zoom call. Hopefully you all will be able to see it. Oh, 1 second. If I can get this window, entire screen, Brave, Webflow. Yeah, I'm trying to get it to share this goddamn Zoom. Zoom might have some protocols where it might not allow me to. Let me see. I gotta get this for y'all though, because this is too good. It might not work. Yep. I'm about to come back on y'all. Only in the high level club right now. But let me know if y'all can hear this at least.
In, right? You're not going to go to where they Melrose and get tax deeds for $50 or $100 or $1,000. It's just not going to happen in places like that. But we have done a great job at identifying some of the least expensive places for entry-level investors to participate in. As I stated before, if you don't have these kind of prices, I do apologize. And I pray for you because I can't help any further. I have identified places that you could buy land for less than, right on the screen, $250. It says it. You can read it. Minimum bid for mobile homes with land only is $50. Minimum bid for everything else, $250. What's everything else? Homes and land. Word of advice, never buy a mobile home from an auction if you don't live in that county, because many times once you buy them from the auction, then you go to see them or claim them, they got mobile. They're not there anymore. So unless you live in that area, don't buy mobile homes from auctions. To further drive that point home, as you see here, another auction. Minimum bid is $500. It spells it out for you. Minimum bid is $500 for lots and houses. And we've done an excellent job for entry-level people who have no previous experience that may just want to get their feet wet in this industry. At these denominations, everyday people can work 9 to 5 jobs, have a little bit of savings, come in, test the waters, get some properties, receive some profits, and move on to the next deal. That's why we located some of these places so people inside of our culture can come in at these prices and open up their mind to the concept first and foremost, and then receive some profits, and then you can move on to doing much bigger deals. And clearly, if you're coming in with a bigger budget, you just play out a better to-do county.
I'm going to show y'all what they're talking about that's on their screen that they're sharing.
For sure. So this slide right here, what we want to keep in mind, y'all, this is all about abundance, right? And when we're talking about abundance, what happens is this. We just don't want y'all to think that this is a limited resource, right? On the screen, what you're seeing right here, there are 31 tax deed states available, right? And inside of these states, they have different counties. If I was dealing with a place like Mississippi, right? Mississippi has about 63 counties or whatever the case may be. So as you can go through, I don't have to go through all of them. You got Alaska, Arkansas, California. Like we said again, to rinse and repeat, this strategy right here, the tax deed strategy, is what we call entry level investing. This is where you can come in and go ahead and pick up properties for pennies on the dollar and go around and sell those properties for close to market value. So all the states that you see on here are places that actually participate in that form of tax deed investing. The only thing that you need to know how to actually identify them and do the actual investment from that standpoint.
All right, let's have a little fun. True or false? Can you buy land for $100? True or false? Be swift. Swift.
Drop it in the chat, y'all. Drop it in the chat.
Can you buy land for $100? True or false? True, I got one true, I got true, I got true, I got true, I got yes, I got yes. All right. Maybe some people have been following us. Somebody said false. All right, let's make them a believer. We're gonna attempt to play another video. We'll come back. We'll let you see what $100 land deal looks like. All right, you'll see and you'll hear it. What you're gonna see is us at our weekly training with the members of our community reviewing $100 land deal, and we'll come back and we'll have conversation about that for sure. $100 property. Let me know if you can hear. A .38, almost a half an acre.
Yo, it went out again, just FYI. It went. It's like you can hear the first 5 seconds and then it just goes out.
So 1 second. This is
true numbers. $100 for .38.
Wow.
Wow. Congratulations. I hope you get it. Let's look at this.
These are the states that they were sharing. So you can screenshot the states where there are 31 tax deed states to where this game can be utilized in.
Tell them you'll give them $200.
She said she already put that in.
Yeah. No, I put the bid in. I put the bid in for 300, and it was the highest and the best.
And now they're talking to us. It's a video of them talking to a student of catching bids and being able to buy land for like $300 to $500, but you got to catch them fast. And it's a whole game on how you get the land. Then you're able to flip it.
Yeah, and that when I put it in the Zillow, and I looked, and I was like, I said, I had to show my husband. I was like, do you see it?
The lowest thing for sale on this market is $19,000. Same size lot that you got.
Yeesh. Home run looking like. Good job on that.
Congratulations.
That's
all right, we're getting it. We're getting it. All right, so I can't mute out, but we did prove the point. That is $100 land deal. Now, let's talk about $100 land deal. In the tax deed space, $100 land deal that's going to sell anywhere from $8,000 to $12,000. That is a home run.
Press yes if you're interested in buying land in the chat.
This happens every day, but I'm here to say that if you're not in the game, you never stand a chance at hitting a deal like that. That is from the Michigan auction. That auction happens once a year. It happens in October. You have time to get in front of that auction. It's one of our most favorite auctions out of any county, the Michigan auction. They cover the whole state. So $100 deals does exist. We found some last year. We found some the year before. But you have to be a participant to stand a chance to land a deal like that. For sure. All right. Next.
He said you got to play the game, otherwise you can't win.
Community, we like to highlight them. The brother, I'm going to play a video from him. This brother, he came to us with no previous experience, never heard about land investing. He saw us on social, and he decided to come and give it a shot. Executor. That's what I love about him. Current date, he is the owner of over 40 deeds. He's only been involved about a year and a half, and he owns over 40 deeds current date. So he's absolutely killing the game. His name is Seiko Williams. Let's pause to see what he has to say. Let's go.
So what's up, guys? My name is Seiko, and I wanted to hop on real quick and give you guys my quick testimonial on the Land and Legacy program. So if you have not heard of Land and Legacy, this is a program that is run by Ray and Jay. Both of them do a great job in both educating and helping us understand the whole process from start to finish on how to get properties at a deeply discounted rate and sell them for what they're actually worth retail. There's a lot of opportunities out there, and it starts first with the education. I was able to purchase 3 properties a couple weeks ago for way under what they're worth. And so I came from no experience within the real estate industry at all to I now own 3 properties, all purchased at a discounted rate. It's going to be sold for what it's actually worth. And I was able to do that because of the education and training and everything that's included in the Land and Legacy program. So so much love to Ray and Jay. Big shout out to you guys. I love what you guys are doing. I appreciate the info, appreciate the knowledge. This is the beginning of something incredible. And yeah, invest in the education, because without the education, you can't execute. And without execution, you'll be in the same spot you've been in for too damn long. So educate, elevate, get to it, land the legacy. Appreciate y'all, everybody else.
No, bye.
So that's our guy, Seiko Williams.
Who's very animated, as you can tell.
I couldn't be more proud of than that young man. That's an old testimonial. At that time, he only had 3 properties, but current date, he's well over 40, and he's doing an excellent job. Now he's one of the leaders inside of our program.
For sure.
Well, let's talk about what comes along with this tax.
That's what's up.
program.
Y'all can I know somebody had asked me for
it. To flip land ebook. That ebook is all
I'm going to
all
hold
the
on.
tips and strategies that we've used and a part of our journey
Acre Boys
in
is
order to
different.
actually get to the space that we are right now. Right now, go ahead and go to the middle where you see that.
If you're on
tax
YouTube,
auction.
I just
Remember, y'all,
dropped the link,
this right here is over
19keys.com/land if you want to get
500
access.
tax deed auctions put inside of one place. And I don't want to go past that too fast because if you
let me show
understood
y'all
what it took in order to
again.
compile a list to go ahead and put this into one easily formatted, clickable PDF in order for you to go ahead and pick the auction that you actually like to participate in and go ahead and look at the rules of that auction and see if you actually like to participate or not. And that is something that we've compiled. It took us a little while to actually do that. And what you're going to get as a benefit is not having to put together all this information because it's easily condensed inside of that actual training. When you see the A, that is the Alabama training, right? Now, that is the state of Alabama that we're all encompassing, extensive due diligence. We're going to go through everything as far as what properties you should buy versus what properties that you shouldn't buy. We're going to show you even what is landlocked property, what is all the different things and checks and balances that you need to check for prior to actually buying a piece of property. A lot of people come in and say they think that they can come in without the knowledge and education and go ahead and purchase a property. But how do you know that you're purchasing the right piece of property? You only know that by getting educated, first and foremost.
Michigan, as I mentioned, that's one of our favorite auctions. We did a training on Michigan, right? We need to update these slides because up to date, we've done a lot of trainings, but Michigan is one of our favorites. As I stated, that happens in October. That auction runs for about 2.5 months. That's where that $100 land deal came from in Michigan. They cover the whole state of Michigan during that auction. So you can miss it if you like. It's going to happen whether you participate or not. It's going to happen whether we participate or not. It comes once a year. Fayette County, Pennsylvania, me and my partner, we bought a few houses, although we're land guys, but we did buy a few houses from there for rather expensive, inexpensive prices from Fayette County, Pennsylvania. We did an extensive training on that. These days, we have covered the whole state of Pennsylvania. If anybody is on this call, if they're from Pennsylvania and unaware of what's going on in Pennsylvania, I don't know if you heard us screaming it out before, you can get acres for $1,250 in Pennsylvania that you can sell back consistently.
That's what they're showing on the screen.
Low end, $4,000, and that ranges all the way up to $12,000. My community is buying them in abundance, and the list is still in length.
For sure.
So you have time to attack those lists. Arkansas is where we got our start from. That's where we were buying properties for $50. Arkansas has switched the style of auction that they conduct. So $50 deals aren't running rampant, but you still can get some good deals from that Arkansas auction, right? Also, inside of our community, we show you how to prepare deeds. Why is this important? As a tax deed investor, we don't want to spend unnecessary money, right? So we try to keep all money in. We prepare our own deeds. We don't hire title companies to do the work for us because we have the knowledge on how to do them ourselves. We pass that knowledge on to you so you can prepare your own deed and don't have to pay for a title company and lose money on your deal. Do-it-yourself program, right? This is our program that teaches you how to do it yourself. Coming into it, you don't
I'm literally screenshotting to give it to y'all.
Explain to you down to detail what a tax lien is, what a tax deed is, what an auction house is, what a county house is. Everything you need to know to be a tax sale investor is inside of that program, and that also comes along with our tax deed program. Once you take that do-it-yourself program, you'll be able to go to any county and find out if there's an auction going on there and what kind of auction is going on there. So drop in the chat that is our tax deed portion of our presentation. Drop in the chat if this makes sense. If it's fire, drop the fire emoji.
For sure. What
Y'all can
feel about it,
participate
you know what I
too.
mean?
Does
Let
that
us know
make
what you feel
sense?
about it. Do you see yourself participating as a tax deed investor?
And just to let you know, just to reiterate something that we talked about before, right?
So many
Remember,
wealth
there is
strategies.
no
I
lack
love
of
it.
properties out there for you to actually purchase. What most people are missing is the actual education in order to do so, especially when you can get in for low denominations and still get deals done where you can quadruple and sometimes 5x your profits and maybe more, depending on what actual property that you pick.
And I will say, this is where the Acre Boys got their start at, doing tax deed investing. Tell a little story. We were working on 9-to-5 jobs. Once we came into this space, into this ecosystem, this world, we would work by day. Then at nighttime, we would come home and attack lists. I would take the top of the list. Jay would take the bottom of the list. And we would do this. We've done this for 2 years. We were extremely smart with our profits. That's why we were able to move on to do bigger deals. Every time we sold a property, the proceeds from that property, we didn't touch any profits for 2 years straight because we were working on 9-to-5 jobs. We wasn't really starving for money. So we were able to put the money to the side, and that allowed us to do a lot bigger deals. Now we're going to get into what some of those bigger deals look like. We're going to get into how these bigger deals helped us walk off or fire our 9-to-5 jobs by doing these same practices right here. I see Amechi has dropped the link, right? Did you drop the link for the tax deed program? Anybody that want to opt into the tax deed program, the link will be in the chat, right? We'll get into our bigger program and what the bigger program encompasses and how you can be involved. And this is for those that want to swing the bat a lot harder, this is the program that you can make unlimited money in.
Yeah, for sure. So I don't want y'all to think, right, that the only kind of properties that the Acre Boys do are actual lower denomination properties. Just to reiterate again, tax deed investing is what we call entry level investing. When it comes to this philosophy, this is where the velocity of money moves a lot faster inside of this space. And basically what this is called is our direct to owner approach, right? As you can see the profits on some of these deals, we had a 55 acre for 110,000, and you can go down the list on. And these are real deals that we have done just based off of one page of the properties that we have actually done. Everybody has to understand this, right? The velocity of money moves a lot faster inside of this space right here, right? Now, our mentor told us a long time ago that everybody knows how to make money, right? It's not a lack of people knowing how to make money, but here's what there is a lack of. Most people make it so slow that they never actually get a chance to feel it, right? So when you're making $110,000 based off a transaction, 55,000, 99,000, you can see how that can move the needle a lot faster inside the space. This is why when we got into this arena, we understood tax deed investing from its core level and understood it in and out. But this one got us to a point where we were able to swing the bat a lot faster and go ahead and make money a lot faster and in higher denominations based off of this philosophy that you see on the screen.
Now, what I love about this philosophy is that this is what we do on a daily basis. So we're not preaching from theory. I'm not going Googling things up. I'm giving you what I do on a daily basis. So with that said, do you think that I'm going to give you something that does not work? I'll tell you about my failures because you don't get good at something until you have already screwed it up and made the corrections. So at one point, we wasn't as good in the beginning as we are now. So I give you everything. I give you the good, the bad, the ugly. I give you things that have worked for me, things that are working for me. I give you things that we have failed at. So you will be able to avoid those things. So this is what I like about it is that we're in the field with you in this program. This is what me and Jay do we don't work 9-to-5 jobs. We do simply what we're talking about 6 days a week.
I'm gonna pause them for a second. Well, not pause, but turn down the audio because it's live. I just want y'all to understand like where things are going for the future. It's not gonna really be educational courses, things of that nature. What you really be paying people in the future specifically is like access to them, right? Access to a community, access to experience, right? Their mistakes, teaching you how to get there much faster, to make quantum leaps and things, because information is everywhere. Wisdom is not, right? So I like what he was just saying, because what you really always investing into is learning what other people know so that you don't have to do the same thing, right? The access is the key. All right, let me stop talking and let them get back to dropping that game.
On the screen I'd have to worry about. But being that we invest in dirt, we are land investors, we buy as is and we sell as is. Let's just say if a natural disaster came about, right? Hurricane, tornado, earthquake, or whatever the case may be. If I was dealing with a house, I'd have to worry about the integrity of a structure. But now that we're just dealing with land, which is the primary asset of everything. One thing I want to drill home is this, right? Understand, right? Whether no matter what kind of real estate you're dealing with, whether it be commercial, residential, whatever the case may be, the primary asset is the actual land. One cannot exist without the other. That's why we always call it the primary. If you understand how to control the land, anything that's put on top of that land is an actual improvement. So these are some of the things that you see on here, which are the benefits of becoming a land investor, because we don't have to worry about structures, toilets, different things like that. We become excellent at buying properties at low denominations and selling these properties for full market value.
And this on the screen, what you're seeing here, if we have any realtors on the call, hi realtors, I absolutely love realtors, especially land brokers. And I'm sure they would attest that in their respective places, it's a lot of competition. It's a crowded arena, but realtors still do really well at their jobs, right? But inside of our space, let's talk raw numbers. Traditional real estate numbers, realtors, there's probably somewhere around 2.5 to 3 million realtors across the country. Inside of the land business, it's less than 10,000 investors. Realtors pull from a housing market of about 500 million homes across the country. Inside our space, we pull from a market of 1.9 billion available acres. So when it comes to competition, right, we have the advantage and a clear path to our end goal inside of this land space.
So this is one of the deals that we did earlier on in this style of land investing, actually, right? We bought, I believe this was a 2-acre property. We bought for $3,500 and sold that property for $11,168. Now, go ahead and drop a 1 in the chat for me if you can use an extra $7,000 based off of one transaction, right? Now, the question you need to be asking yourself, right, is how many times can I rinse and repeat this same thing throughout a calendar month, right? Because like we explained earlier, these deals are there, they're not going anywhere. But the thing is putting yourself in a position where you have enough offers out in order to get a deal accepted and you move forward and get that actual deal closed.
Now, I'm not going to ask you an asinine question like who can use an extra $26,000. I'm sure we all could use an extra $26,000. When we came into this space, as Jay said, the velocity of money moves so slow, right? We all learn how to earn money. We need to learn how to keep it and grow it at a fast pace. That is the catch. We know how to earn it. You go to work every day, so you're earning money, but we're making the money too slow. We need to find a way to move the needle a lot faster. In this space, that's why I said the income could be unlimited. There's no ceiling on this except the self-imposed one that you put on yourself and the limitations that you put on your deals. This can range from $8,000 profit all the way up to $50,000 or $100,000 that you're going to see and hear about when we get further in our presentation. So these are some of the denominations you can see off of one deal. As Jay said, the key to this is to stack deals in a calendar month. Right. So if you can do 1, 2, 3, 4 of these deals in one calendar month, you can see how it's easy for you to start to look at your 9 to 5 and frown and say, hey, I'm going to be out of here rather quickly once I finish doing more deals like this. And we just wanted to drive the point home that as long as you're consistent in your business, your checks will be consistent. If you're not consistent, then your checks will slow up. And that's like common sense.
Now, what you're looking at right here is this is the biggest deal that we've ever did, right? What you're looking at on the screen is an 11,000 square foot mansion. Ooh. On this property. It also has 3 other residential homes plus 2 commercial business buildings. Now, this property sits on 260 acres. To give you a reference point for that, right? Disney World is 500 acres. This property is half the size of Disney World, right? We acquired this property for 3.4. We got rid of this property for 8.9. Now, here's the thing that I want you to understand, right? We had gotten used to inside this space making $100,000 on the transaction, $50,000 on the transaction, whatever the case may be. However, when we came in touch with this was something like we're telling you before, people who are sitting in the bleachers can't score points. You can only get involved in something like this if you're actually on the court. That's the only way that you can actually score. Did we know that we were going to run into a deal like this? Absolutely not. But like we always say, sometimes your plans have plans for you. And when your plans have plans for you, you don't know what your abundance is going to be until you're actually moving forward inside of your actual purpose, right? One of our mentors told us a long time, he said, go as far as you can see. When you get there, you'll see further. If I'm standing in one position and I'm not moving, my vantage point is always going to remain the same, right? But as I keep moving, my vantage point changes. Now I can see more of the board that I couldn't see from back there, right? So this is the point that we're trying to drill down inside of this presentation. Movement, 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 movement. Anything that settles is typically at the bottom. So this is one of the things we do inside of our business, right? We typically, and this theory right here, right? We're typically purchasing properties at 25 to 30% on the dollar. So let me give you a real-time example of what that looks like, right? If I'm purchasing a property that's worth $100,000 and I'm purchasing at 30% on the dollar, that means I'm acquiring that property for $30,000, right? Now here's the benefit of this space, right? Let's just say I priced that property $100,000 and it's not selling. I can adjust that price down to 95, 90, 85, 80, 70, and even at that point, I can still double the money as far as my acquisition price, right? You'll find that in the land business, we deal with heavy profit margins, right? Anytime you're dealing with any industry that has light profit margins, it's way too easy to breaking even or possibly even losing money.
All right, let's drive the point home about profit margins. So what you're looking at on the screen, this is a real deal that we have bought and sold. We picked up 35 acres for $44,000. We listed it back on the market for $125,000. The raw numbers on that, the breakdown is that's 35%. Now, if I would have got this deal at 50%, would I have been mad? Absolutely not. If I would have got this deal at 75% on the dollar, I still would have been looking at making a good $40,000 on the deal. Now, the buyer that picked up this property, he gave us what he thought was a lowball offer. He offered $98,000. He thought he would shave off upwards of $30,000 off the deal. I thought it was a good sound offer because I was only into it for $44,000. So we accepted his $98,000 and it made for a good deal. Parties. We were happy and he was happy, and that is the agreement these profit margins on these deals. Now, how do we come across that 35 acres? 47% of America is vacant and undeveloped, right? And just waiting for someone to come and claim it. Now, let's have a real conversation. This is what they don't want you to know. They don't want room vacant land to become sexy or popular. Why? Because do you think they're going to stop taking land and developing it? Absolutely not. It's not going to happen. They don't want you to get in front of it and start developing land. Let's use a popular place like Atlanta, Georgia, for example. If you think back 10, 15 years ago when places like Stockbridge, first of all, nobody lives in Atlanta, Georgia. Everybody lives around Atlanta, Georgia, first and foremost. And as Atlanta grew out, all these other places started to become popular. These are the places that they were calling rural. Stockbridge, McDonough, these were the same areas that they were calling rural. So if you knew the game then, you would have been buying that rural land for pennies on the dollar, because now you can't even get in over there because the prices are too high. And it's going to continue
Make sure
to
y'all
work
click,
that way, right?
go to 19keys.com/land.
Nobody wants. That's what they want you
Or
to
hit the
continue to
barcode
think.
up top.
If you
Make sure you scan
when you
that.
get off of this call, right? Go look up a place called Buckeye, Arizona. It's desert land. Go to Zillow and put in Buckeye, Arizona, and you're going to see that it's desert land. But guess what? That desert land is selling for high millions. Why? Because data centers are buying up all that open space for them to put a bunch of data centers in all those places. We study these markets. 10 years ago, you was getting that same land for a couple of $1,000s. Now it's worth millions. So the key is to get in front of this, right? Go where it's available at. You have to go and get what's available, unless you have major coin to stay and compete in the city areas. And most of us don't have major coins coming out the gate. So you must go to where it is available at. Why do you think the rich is going there first? Why do you think, and we're going to get off of this, but we pulled up homeowners in Atlanta, Georgia, which is Fulton County. And most people don't know that there's no homeowners. Only corporations own the land there. They own everything there. Corporations. 97% own all the properties there. Regular people don't even own it because they did that 10 years ago, 15 years ago, because they knew that that area was going to continue to rise and get hot. That's how you have to position yourself. Now, when we send out these offers to buy land, we call it mailbox money. When you go to your mailbox, what's typically in the mailbox? Letter, bill, school bill, light bill, gas bill, cable bill of some sort. We do the opposite. We send money to the mailboxes. So when people get these letters with an offer price on it, it intrigues them. Like the slide we had before, offering $44,000 for a property that they may not be using, right? How do they correspond with us? They typically correspond with us by emailing us back, writing us back, or giving us a phone call back.
Sure. Now, a lot of people, one of the main questions that we get asked, right, is how do we go ahead and sell these properties? We sell these properties directly online. And a halfway point in this presentation, when we started talking about our direct to owner program, you will see in the profits, the 110,000, 90,000, whatever the case may be. That was on Facebook Marketplace, right? You got to understand what these tools are out there for you to utilize, right? But most people, like I always say, because they're underutilizing the tools, out there taking pictures of their feet, different things like that. We use Facebook Marketplace to make money. You know what I mean? And once you understand how to do this, you can go ahead and put your property in front of people that are already existingly looking inside of that market. And another thing I want to touch on really quickly is Ray touched on it a little bit, but I want to drill a little bit down on it, is dealing with land brokers. If anybody's not familiar with land brokers are the equivalent of real estate agents, but they just specifically deal in land. And what happens is we contact some of these people and they have the expertise inside this area. They've been dealing inside these areas for 10, 15, 20 years. Like we said, this is a virtual based business. At no point in time do we actually have to go out there and visit the property unless we actually want to, right? We're able to leverage the resources of other people in order for them to go out there and evaluate the property if we need that, right? If you're familiar, read books of different things like that. It's a book I read one time by Ray Dalio. It was called Principles, right? And that's something that we adapted inside of what we do. And the concept is called triangular believability, right? And in triangular believability, we go ahead and see what the property is looks like it's comped out for, what the value is, right? But you know how we complete that triangle? We call 2 land brokers to go ahead and put ourselves in a position to verify those price points that we think it is. That's how we know whether that property is good for us to move on or bad for us to move on. As long as it's in the vicinity of what we think it is, then we'll move forward and go ahead and get that deal as far as that's concerned.
Wifey. I call her wifey because I spend a lot of time with her. That's all you need. Wi-Fi,
Wi-Fi money.
computer. You can do your business just about anywhere in the world, even on vacation.
Now, I believe this is one of the most important slides that we have here, right? The number one thing that stops most people from investing is lack of capital. Number one thing, right? Now, in this business, you do need money to do the business, right? But when it comes to actually investing in the deal and this strategy that we're talking about, you don't need money to do that. So let me give you a real-time example of what that looks like. Inside of our curriculum, we have what is called JVs, right? JV, for those who don't know, stands for joint venture. So here's an example, right? Let's keep the numbers even. If you found an undervalued piece of property for $50,000, right? And that property is worth $100,000, right? And you didn't have the money, or you just didn't want to put up the money, and you say, you know what, Acre Boys, could you partner with us on this deal? What we're going to do is we're going to vet that deal because we understand land business. We've been doing it for a long time. What we're going to do is vet that deal and make sure that it's going to sell for around that amount, right? Once we have vetted that deal, what is going to happen is we're going to purchase that property on your behalf, right? So in the legal binding contracts that we have, you are going to be the manager and we're going to be the investor on that particular deal, right? So on the market piece of property for $50,000, the property is worth $100,000. We purchase for 50, we sell at 100, there's $50,000 left on the table. You would get 25,000, we would get 25,000, giving you an infinite return because you didn't have to put any money up, $0 out of your pocket. And if you were looking at that actual mansion, that 260 acres that we actually bought, drop in the chat how much money you think we had to put up in order to go ahead and get involved in that transaction.
Mm.
Go ahead and drop in the chat. What y'all think? 20,000, 40,000, 50,000, 100, whatever the case may be. Drop in the chat to see what you think. How much money do you think that we had to put in order to actually do that? The acquisition price was 3.4.
I ain't gonna lie, this ain't for everybody. It's for people who really like serious
All
about
right,
getting
see
into
them coming in,
this
see
game.
them coming in. Well, I'm gonna let
This
the
is
cat out the
$1 million
bag,
worth
right?
of game.
$0 out of pocket for ourselves, right?
Damn.
Here's the thing. Clearly, if you don't have awareness of a topic or a subject, you can't fully implement because you don't know anything about it. What we didn't know prior to coming into the space is that how much money was actually there and available for us in order to actually take advantage of, right? That's what we didn't know, because coming from where we come from, there's always seems to be a lack of capital. Everybody's, robbing Peter to pay Paul in a sense, whatever the case may be. Our mentor told us when we came in this game, the only thing you have to do is make yourself an excellent deal finder, and you'll never have to worry about money. Understand how to bring the deals. Your deals will always get funded based off of that. So anybody that does a lot of traveling, right? This is Clear, right? Clear is a premium service that's offered at the airport. And what does Clear do? It takes you to the front of the line. No matter how many people are sitting there, in the security line, it could be 40, 50 people. They could have been there for an hour. But based if you purchase that premium price for the Clear, you go directly to the front of the line. That is exactly what a mentor does, y'all. A mentor's job is to condense time frames, right? And off of getting time frames condensed, what it does is help you get to your desired result a lot faster.
So this was me when I was a little unclear. By trade, I was a union stagehand worker. I made $100,000 for the first time in my life. I thought that once I hit $100,000 status, I thought I had made it. I thought it would be easy street from there on. If you know anything about setting up concerts or shows, primarily the summertime is going to be the bulk of the work. There's always a concert going on. As you can see in the image in the middle, I worked in the air. I was what's called a rigger. In the air in the summertime, it's always 15 degrees hotter. So it was hot. It was a lot of work, and $100,000 living in the state of New York doesn't stretch that far. Immediately you have taxes, and the lifestyle there brings you right back down to 30,000. It just gives you enough to feel like you're ahead of the game, and it gives you enough to just pay your bills on time. I couldn't see a way out, and word of advice is, frankly, the job was never, or my supervisors, they never gave me any reason to leave them. They're not going to give you any advice to get off of the job. That was something I had to look to myself for. So this job held me over. I knew this wasn't my end all. I knew this wasn't where I wanted to be. And deep down inside, I knew I was meant to do and built to do bigger and better things. So appreciative, but I knew I wanted more.
Yeah, for sure. So this is my.
You gotta get it yourself. Nobody will give it to you.
I was a sanitation truck driver, right? Now, is anybody familiar with the term "your environment is your ceiling"? Right? Is anybody familiar with that? Your environment is your ceiling. Now, a lot of times what happens where I come from, there's a lot of blue collar work, right? Blue collar work, people hustling, different things like that. And that's what I've seen actually work inside of my actual space, right? So what did I do? I mimicked and modeled the same behavior as the people that were actually around me, because that's what I've seen work to a certain degree, right? But sometimes, a lot of times when I was on here, I felt misplaced or whatever the case may be. I knew I wasn't supposed to be out there doing this kind of work. Now, anybody who likes their job or whatever the case may be, I think that's excellent for you, right? But for the people who don't like it, it's time to actually shift and do something which is going to have you more fulfilled at the end of the day. The only thing this job was fulfilling was my back hurting. That's really about it, right? And with retirement age and different things like that, it was crazy because had I would have stayed on this job, no growth, nothing whatsoever.
Let me show y'all the picture
I'd have still been there doing the same thing. But being that our minds were in a different place, we already knew what we didn't like. Now it's time to put something into effect and into play that would change those circumstances.
So we find that the people that have the most to lose take the most risk. And the ones that have nothing to lose, they take no risk, right? Bet on yourself. If you're sick and tired of your situation, you have to first take self-accountability. You put yourself in that position, you have to get yourself out of that situation, right? That's what we did. We had to look to us to save ourselves. The job, as I stated, they're never going to give you a solution to walk away from them. That is have to come from inside of you, right? So if you're sick and tired, you have to find something. First, find something that makes sense to you. If you're happy with what you're doing, that is the greatest place you could be in, happiness, right? But if you're not happy, like 97% of the world that say they're not happy with their jobs, you have to first find an industry that depicts the kind of income that you want to make. If you want to make $200,000 a month, you have to find an industry that produces that kind of income. We found that in this industry. That's why it allowed us to walk away from jobs that paid $100,000 to what most people may seem like is a lot of money. But when we stepped in this arena, we started rubbing shoulders with people that was making $100,000 every 2 weeks. So the velocity of money moves a lot faster in this space. So this is where we wanted to position ourselves. So if you're unsatisfied, find the industry that depicts the kind of income so you can get back your time, right?
Let me ask y'all, what's your income goal?
It's time. When we're trading time for dollars, that's when we become exhausted because you're never going to keep up with that pace.
So when we talk about land dynamics and property appreciation, right? We study a lot of traditional investors, and I can tell you one thing that they're doing when they're doing this at an urgent basis, right? They are purchasing land, and I'll tell you why. Land as a store of value, because everybody knows that land constantly increases in value. This is one of the ways that they actually hedge against inflation, right? Because once they buy a piece of property at a lower denomination, and whenever it's time for them to actually liquidate it, they're always getting more money out than they actually put in. And this is one of the things that you have to understand about land. Even if you go back through history, all throughout the history, land has always one of the only asset classes that is constantly increased in value.
All right, we call it recession-proof. At times like this, when the country is at a heightened state, we actually buy more land because people are looking to feel safe. Hence, that's why you see people running around, they buy all the water off the shelves and all the toilet tissue and things of that nature, right? But what's at the top of that list to make people feel comfortable and safe? Money. We stated we send money through the mailbox, right? So when they get these offers, people are looking for a sense of security. That's why it's so intriguing. And that's why we say this space is recession-proof. Less competition, we already drove that point home. Nothing to fix. I love fixing flips. But however, there's a lot that come with that. You have to manage a crew. You're running the Home Depot 10, 11 times, or as they say, 50, 11 times. We don't deal with that in here. We buy it as is and we sell it as is. Low taxes. Land will always have way less taxes than traditional real estate, for sure.
Now, these are some of the things that we're involved in prior to getting into the land space, right? And I'll tell you the reason why we put this slide up, right? We had a credit repair business where we're going ahead and fixing people's credit, right? Judgments, repos, charge-offs, all of these different kind of things. Some files came out right, some files came out wrong. But however, this is what we were doing at the time. It wasn't a fit. So we went on into partnering with some other people and buying into a debt collection agency where we were buying large portfolios of debt and then going after the debtor in order to actually make the money off of our debt that we actually purchased. Very time consuming, stressful thing too as well. The point of this slide is, right, whenever, even with the credit repair business, we did not stop. When that wasn't a fit, we just went on to the next thing. Because me and him said the same thing at the same time. Is go back to what? Am I going to go back to the very
works.
same thing that I said I don't like? So something had to keep on going. And eventually, if something's not working, don't stop. Don't go backwards. Keep on going forward because the power has always been in moving forward.
See, the expressions on our face is dramatically different from the expression I had on my face when I was at my former place of employment. The information that we heard this day or this evening was life-changing, right? We were in a room full of other people that didn't look like us, and they were talking about some life-changing numbers that environment, right? So being in the right rooms, first and foremost, you have to get around bigger rooms. You have to get around the type of capital that you want to make for yourself, right? You hang around 5 people that's getting into it on a high level, you'll be the 6th person. You know how the saying goes. So this was our first one. And what we learned that day was, as I stated, life-changing.
So basically, y'all, here's what happens, right? Based off of this one-day seminar that we actually did, right? We put ourselves in a position to make $90,000 in the next 3 months, right? And I tell you, right, this is when we talk about environment and actually stretching, right? Because here's one thing that happened. We had these breakout sessions in the middle of the thing, and we were got a chance to go ahead and have dialogue back and forth with people, right? And people were saying they did $160,000 last month, and that was a bad month. They did $180,000 last month, and that was a bad month. Now, previously, keep in mind, we're coming from an arena where we're doing 6 figures inside of a year, and they're calling that a bad month. So clearly we knew we're in the right space. And on top of that, I'm looking at these people. They're no smarter than me. They're not better than me in anything. They just got information earlier than me and actually executed on the information. That's the difference, right? So like I said before, to reiterate, in the next 3 months, we made $90,000 based off of a seminar that we took that was only one day with no ongoing support.
And for the record, people, we are streaming live tonight. 19keys.com land. We are streaming live tonight. Just wanted to let you guys know that. The big question, how do we find land to buy and sell?
Now, I definitely want to be intentional.
Can y'all hear me, brothers?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I've been here listening, man. First of all, fantastic so far. I got like 1,000 people on Twitter that's sitting in here listening right now. They can't see y'all, but I'm screenshotting the presentation and going along with y'all so that they can see the images as we carry on. But there's a lot of people over here in the comments that's super appreciative for the game that y'all giving thus far. Just wanted to let y'all know that.
For sure. Appreciate that, brother.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, yes, sir. So here's what happens, right? I tell everybody, right, that the land business is a data-driven industry. At no point in time are we taking a dart and throwing it at the dartboard, whatever the case may be, and guessing where to put these actual offers, right? One thing I want you to be familiar is something called DOM. All of my realtors probably know what this is, but if not, let's go into detail. DOM just stands for days on market. Days on market is simply how long properties are staying on the market versus how long it's taking them to actually be sold. If I'm dealing in arena as an investor, if I'm looking to flip these properties and I see something that's 260 days on market, that's going to be a telltale sign to go ahead and leave that area alone, because on average, it's taking that long in order for them to sell.
If you're on Twitter, make sure y'all repost this.
Area that's going for 40 days on market, 50 days on market, I know that that's going to be more of a fertile market in order for me to get into, because I know I can sell that property a lot faster. Now, one thing that about this, Zillow is a really huge asset to us based off of that, because you can get a lot of data points based off of Zillow. Now, keep in mind, y'all, these are free tools that we're talking about that you can use in order to pinpoint, to put yourself in position where you go ahead and use the data to make informed decisions.
So first, we targeted. Next, we need to know who owns that land. I'm sure many of you have been driving south or coming up north and you see all this vacant land on the side of the road as you're traveling. You need to know who owns the land so we can position ourselves to take it to the next step.
For sure. Now, just like we talked about earlier in the presentation, right? I want to be intentionally redundant about this 25 to 30% on a dollar. Here's something that you got to realize. When we send these offers out, most people are not even in the market for selling their land until they get our actual offer, right? There's a lot of circumstances that happen as far as them looking forward to selling their land. Let's give you a couple, right? One, they bought the property a long time ago. They thought they were going to do something with it. Life happened, and now they're paying taxes on something that they're not using. You'd be surprised how much inherited property is out there. And typically, based off of the data that we've seen, it's about 50-50 that if they weren't the one to put the money into it when the property was actually acquired, they're willing to go ahead and get rid of that property for pennies on the dollar. And that's where we come in. This is why we send out offers to mailboxes, like Bray was saying, right? Once they get these actual offers, it intrigues them to either call us back, shoot an email, or whatever the case may be. And one thing I want to drill down home with too is that dealing with rural vacant land is very, very interesting, because 90% of our acquisition takes place in rural arenas, right? Rural markets, right? The number one property that we sell: hunting, fishing, camping, RVing, four-wheeling. That's the number one property that we sell. A lot of people may look at these rural markets and think there's no opportunity in it. This is why we always call the land business the industry that's been hidden in plain sight, because where people do not see value, we were trained to see value from that standpoint.
So we told you how to target it. Step one, we told you then you have to figure out who's the homeowner. Then you should present them with an offer. If you don't have an offer, you probably don't have a business. The more offers, the better. Once an offer is accepted, number four, my favorite part, we are ready to fully monetize the land. How do we do that? We put it back on the market for full retail prices. Some of the places that we use: exhaust all free sites first. Facebook Marketplace. We've sold a ton on Facebook Marketplace. There is some steps you need to take to become a credible seller on Facebook Marketplace. Zillow gets a ton of traffic. Your personal website, we also sell a ton off our personal website, but you must build up the traffic coming through your personal website first. And that is how you monetize it from step one all the way to step four in a nutshell.
Hold on.
Sure. Now, if you feel confident with everything that you heard, you already know we do tax deed investing. We comb through lists. We get properties at low denomination.
Y'all following along? Give me a yes.
Like that, right?
Put a yes in the chat.
Due diligence on the property to assure.
Comment under the post and be on Twitter.
Asset, right? Even when it comes to the other scenario, when it comes to the director owner philosophy, we send out mailers to mailboxes at 25 to 30% on the dollar, and that's typically where we're getting our bites at, right? But there's always going to be something or somebody out there that's going to encounter something different because they're not willing to use the tools and resources that are provided. There's going to be one issue with that.
YouTube University. Somebody right now may be screen recording this. Somebody right now be saying, hey, I'll look other places to go and get the free information. And we encourage you to go out and get all the free information that you can find. But you're going to run into a problem at some point if you want to do this on the highest level, hence the talk. On the highest level, you need to get with the right information to get the best campaigns out there so you can position yourself to model some of these investors that have came and made $100,000 in 1 month, that have made $50,000 and $60,000 off of one deal. And we're going to show you some of those testimonials about some of the things that we're speaking about. YouTube, literally, is not allowed to give you addresses in homeowners' name. It is illegal. So you're going to run into problem by going the YouTube route.
For sure. Problems that you'll encounter. Understanding what markets are best to invest in and why. That is one of the major things that you're going to have to understand if you want to be successful inside of this space. Understanding what to purchase or not to purchase. This is why we were heavy on due diligence. You need to assure that you're purchasing the right asset. When, where, and who to sell it to, for sure, is vital.
So we came up with our program, the Land and Legacy program. The truth of the matter is we were just going about minding our business, doing our own land thing, and people heard about what we were doing, and it was suggested to us. In fact, it was said in quotes, you guys are doing a huge disservice by not teaching this to your community. And that's how we came up with the program. It has been well received up to date. What I love about the program and what I love about our community is that 99% of the investors that have came into our ecosystem had no previous experience of any land investing. Most of them never even heard about some of these practices, and they was able to come in, implement the strategies and techniques, and then find their way to successful deals. I want to highlight some of the people that's inside of our community that has went on and done some great things and continue to kill a game doing multiple 5- and 6-figure deals. Let's point out our first $100,000 a month earner. She's a young lady by trade. She's a nurse. She's the first one in our community to make $100,000 in 1 month from flipping land. So her name is Stephanie. Let's take a listen to her testimony, and we'll come right back and move on to the next testimony.
Hey y'all, my name is Stephanie, aka Naked Nachos, as some of you might know me by. I'm here with a quick update. This month alone, I'm closing out 3 separate deals, all of them direct to owner. I have a 0.3 acre out in Michigan that I purchased for $5,000. We're closing that one out at $18,500. I have a second deal out in Michigan. That one I purchased for $6,500. I received a cash offer for $40,000. And my very first deal, which was out in Suffolk County, New York, that one, the Acre Boys provided funding. We purchased a $60,000 lot. That's 1.5 acre. And we're closing that lot out at $200,000. 3 deals, 1 month. I could not have done this without the Acre Boys. So as they say, invest in dirt. It's a clean way to make money. Thank you guys. Peace.
Hey, that saying is cold. Invest in dirt. It's a clean way to make money.
All right, 3 deals, 1 month. As we mentioned earlier, that is called deal stacking. If you can complete multiple deals in 1 month, that is how the money accumulates. Drop in the chat how much money you think she came out of pocket with for any of those deals.
How much money y'all think she came out of pocket with?
How much money did she come out of pocket with for any of the 3 of those deals?
For sure.
Bonnie Hunt said 140,000. 0. 0.
All right.
Ding, 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 0. I like 0. It costs her nothing out of pocket, just the money to do the business. I'm gonna move on to our next member of our community. She is our longest member of our community, and guess what? We met her through 19 Keys in 19 Keys movement. Her name is Miss Courtney Wynn. She is our longest active member, and these days she is now an instructor inside of our community because she has the game. She has implemented. She has successfully landed transactions, and now she works on the other side with us. So let's hear her testimony.
Oh, she got a crown though.
Peace. So I got on here a week ago to announce that I had just closed on my first deal with the Acre Boys, about for $19,000, sell for $45,000. Today, I'd like to say that in less than 2 weeks, I am set to close and sell that property for $40,000 cash. We are set to close on that next Friday.
That's who talking.
Just want to say thank you to the Acre Boys off of this one transaction. It is going to allow me to reinvest into my business to make sure I have more and more deals coming in. It's going to allow me to pay up some bills for a couple of months. And it's going to allow me to take a much needed vacation with my child. So just want to say thank you, Acre Boys. And y'all tap in. Thank you.
That's love.
All right, that's Courtney Wynn. She's one of my favorites. As I stated, she has been with us since the very beginning when it was just only 2 investors inside of the community. So the community has dramatically
just
grown
audio is
over
fine.
the months and years. So, and I couldn't be more prouder than them because they entrusted in us. We gave them the game, information on us, execution on them. So it's not about something we did. They just took the information, ran with it, and executed on it. As I stated earlier, this is going to be about implementation. This is going to be about execution because we can give you the game, but taking the game and not doing anything.
How many people are actually executing it?
So we're looking for
press yes in the chat if you are executing.
People that can see themselves having this kind of success because it works. If it worked for us, you're talking about a former garbage man and a former stagehand. You're looking at a nurse and you're looking at she's a teacher's aide. If it worked for these everyday regular people, it certainly can work for you. So let's talk about what comes along with our program.
For sure. We're going to talk live weekly calls. This is what we call multiple touch points during the week. So to make sure you're successful, right? On Tuesday night, we have a mindset call, right? On the mindset call, we basically going over skills, techniques, and different practices that we use in order to change the mentality, right? Because before you change anything, first, it starts inside of the mind first, right? If you don't feel yourself to be worthy for something, immediately you'll self-sabotage because you ultimately don't feel worthy, right? So changing some of these things inside of yourself will change the actual result that you're getting. So we go over different books inside of there. Edinburgh lectures on mental science, three magic words, so many different things. We read books, we go over information, and we have dialogue back and forth, right? That takes place at Tuesday, 6:00 p.m. Eastern. Now, 7:00 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, we have our live training call, right? And on our live training call, this is where you're going to come in and ask any question in regard to the land business, right? This is where we're going to be doing due diligence, giving live examples, calling sellers back, Any question or concern you can have about anything, go ahead and come to the live call. It usually starts, like I said, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern. We usually end about 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern, right? And those are multiple touch points inside of 1 week. Let's go a step further, right? 24/7 private chat. We have a private chat inside of Mighty Network. So let's just say we're off one of those calls and you happen to have a question about anything. What happens is you can type it down inside of that 24/7 chat and somebody will always get back to you as far as answering your question. The Acre Boys are inside of there and other investors that are more than capable of getting your questions answered because they got a year on you, 2 years, whatever the case may be. Everybody on there is going ahead and trading resources. This is the power of community, right? You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. And I just want to drill down for sure the intricate process of having support, right? The support is what's going to get you through, right? Because when you're coming in something to a concept that may be foreign to you, it's the support that's going to get you over the hill. So this is what we have inside the curriculum. And Ray, go ahead and I'll speak about the next part.
Access to live events. Our first live event was in the great state of Georgia. It was in Atlanta. Actually, we had a yay old time. We had a nice turnout. Our next event will be in the state of New York. Clearly, as a member, you will receive discounts to all live events. More importantly, access to private investors list. We have done our best to take all excuses off the table. Information, we do our best to provide it. As I stated, we're in the field with you. We're not preaching from theory. Now, once you get the information and you implement the information, you don't need money to buy deals. We will provide the money for the deals. We never said at one time in this presentation that there's a limitation on how many deals that you can do. In fact, we encourage more deals. Why do we encourage more deals? Because that increases our deal flow. I want to partner with you on your deal. So in essence, I'm saying, let me teach you what I do, then let me give you the money for what I taught you to do, and let's break bread together. Everybody is happy, mutual benefit, a win for us, a win for you. And then we continue to move forward and continue to bring more deals to the table. That, my people, is something that's deemed to be priceless. Once inside of our community, you have the opportunity to invest in our 5K club. I couldn't be more proud of this group because y'all know as a culture, it is extremely hard to get us on the same page to do anything. So several investors inside of our community, we all have invested increments of $5,000 into this club. More money at your disposal. We are now self-funding our community deals. So instead of me taking our deals to outside entities, our own community is putting up the money for these land deals, and we're splitting the profits with the members of our community. I don't know what's better than that. This is all other communities have been doing and continue to do since the beginning of the time.
Fire.
3 is better than 2, 4 is better than 3. Economically, building together is the way to go. I encourage more people once inside to get involved in this group, because this is how we do much bigger deals. This is how we go out and we buy huge plots of land and develop subdivisions and homesteads and a popular concept of family compounds. This is how we do all of these things, by putting the money together and buying it as a group. You must be a member of our community to participate in the 5K club. Sure. All right. Y'all heard our offer. I hope we beat the time, man. I said around an hour and 5 minutes. That's been our offer. Drop a fire emoji in the chat if this resonated with you. Drop a fire emoji in the chat.
Y'all comment,
see
y'all
yourself doing some things inside of this space. Drop a fire emoji if you saw the value that this space offers tonight. Right?
Scan the barcode that is right here on. I'm moving it to the right hand side.
Mindset, people that's ready to hit the ground, boots on the ground, running. We are looking for those kind of people to come in and work together. Right? It cost me and Jay $5,000 a piece to attend a one-day seminar. So we had to be really good note takers at that one-day seminar because we had to go home and implement everything that we heard that day. All right. So in our community, there's ongoing support, as Jay has stated. And if that sounds expensive to you, as I stated, you can go the YouTube route, but you're going to hit a snag. You're going to hit a brick wall by going the YouTube route because there's legal issues when you're looking to put a campaign together. So either way.
Yeah, for sure. And this is what we always say with this, right? Either way, right? Nobody gets around paying, right? That's one of the things that our mentor put out here a long time ago. Nobody gets around paying. It's either you pay the same or you pay to stay the same or you pay to be different, but nobody in the world gets around paying.
So tonight, our program is normally $24.97 for everything under that $24.97 umbrella. You get everything. You get the tax deed program. You get the do-it-yourself program. You get the direct-to-owner program. Everything that we spoke
Press
about.
yes if you're ready to flip
being
land.
here, spending time with us on a Thursday night, for being members of and following 19 Keys. We want to offer a huge discount off of that $24.97. If you guys could drop the link in the code to give them that discount, right? You'll receive $1,000 off of that program, and that will come with ongoing support.
But you got to put in 19 Keys at checkout.
$197 that'll cover the weekly training.
The code is 19 Keys.
24/7 access to the community. Simple. So you can be amongst the other investors and have dialogue with them. So we want to give you that savings. That savings is only good to midnight, people. The codes go off at midnight. Damn. So save $1,000 off the $24.97. And that's our presentation. I hope this resonated with you. I hope that you guys saw the value in all that we do, all that we bring to the table, and all that this space offers.
For sure.
That was powerful.
Now, if we wanted to go, if we wanted to go into a question and answer period, we can. You know what I mean? Stick around and answer some questions for anybody who wasn't clear on any particular topic that we've that we discussed tonight. Let us know what y'all want to do as far as that's concerned.
Absolutely. Shout out to the Anchor Boys. Appreciate y'all for doing that presentation. For our members who are here on the actual High Level Club link, we do have a chat that's open. So if you have any lasting questions, please say something in the chat. They'll spend a few minutes to go through those, answer those for you. But big shout out to 19 Keys for making this happen, making this relationship possible. We had over, thousands of people in the stream. So definitely shout out to everybody who was watching via the stream. If you want to support, if you want to get information for our next webinar, make sure you have a seat to participate in the chat and things of that nature. Make sure you visit 19keys.com/links. But let's get to some of these questions that we have in the chat right now. If we have any good ones that you guys can address.
All right, for sure. We got Joe Williams. May I ask, how long is the membership? The membership is lifetime. As long as we are breathing, we will be selling land, buying and selling land. You are able to opt out at any given time. There's no restrictions are holding you into it. We'd like you to stay and take the journey with us as long as we're doing it. But you do have the option to stay lifetime or opt out.
Right on. And I know some people earlier had some questions about being citizens of the U.S., what's applicable in the States, outside the States. I don't know if y'all wanted to address that.
Sure. Yeah, sure. I mean, we've had people, inside of our curriculum. Have to go ahead and get that U.S.-based address, set up a foreign entity, LLC, incorporated or whatever the case may be. But yes, it's definitely possible in order for you to be an investor, an out-of-state investor for sure.
But these practices primarily work to buy land
in the United States, though. Right. Inside the United States, yeah, for sure.
All right, Janae Calhoun says, is monthly fee after the regular show. So yeah, there's a upfront cost to come in. Tonight we have the special running by using that 19 Keys disco. So you'll pay a one-time fee of $14.97, and then the following 30 days, the next month, the $197 will be applicable. All right. In fact, if anybody is going to get checked out or has gone and got checked out, come back on the call and say, hey, I'm in, I got checked out.
For sure.
We will give you specific instructions tonight on where you should start to get you going.
For sure. What else we got? Question-wise, anyway.
Oh yeah.
And anything, all the resources, y'all, anything that you want, it's where to get all the links. 19keys.com/land. Once again, 19keys.com/land. We're going to be uploading a few more resources and assets for you, including the replay of this video for our high-level community members. We'll get that both in our community and on 19keys.com/land. So that'll be up there shortly.
For sure. For sure.
All right. But once again, man, you know, we really big shout out to y'all. We really
Always
appreciate
appreciate
what y'all always love.
For sure.
You know, we can't wait to just continue to lock in and do things on the highest level and become great together.
Peace, brothers. Just wanted to say thank y'all, man. I can't put my camera on because I got it in the stream at the moment, but definitely powerful. This, you know, the reason I like doing this because it reminds people there's infinite wealth strategies out there, right? And you have to pick, right, one that resonates with you, right?
Sure.
I think, you know, when it comes to our people, when it comes to people thinking about wealth nowadays, there's so much information out there, right? And most people need direction, right? Because you can get into coding, you can get into trading, you can get into options, you can get into content, you get into all these things. And there's particular type of people who actually are really good at this. They sit down, right? They learn the materials and they execute and they start hunting. And there's a lot of people who don't know that they're good. As I've noticed in your video, some of the people who win the most are women, right? And so like being able to sit down and do some of that clerical work where you just doing some research, you learn the game and then you execute, it gives you this ability really to change your life by picking up new skills, right? A skill that nobody can take away from you. You're not going to unlearn, you're not going to forget. It's a lifetime membership. So whenever, in the beauty of a community, in the thing, I don't think y'all are selling information. I believe it's more so consultation, right? Because the reality of it is again, we got AI, right? We don't need the information per se. We need somebody to guide us along the way, right? Help me with, you feel me, those points to where I get stuck at. Because right now, a lot of people don't know how to learn. You feel me? So it's like, all right, where's my step 1, 2, and 3? Walk me through the process. Tell me when you had an issue with this thing right here, when you wasn't making, you feel me, the deals, how did you get over that? Then you got somebody in the community, right, that you can teach, or somebody that can help teach you. So you're never at this point where you stuck and you like, damn, what do I do? You can always ask a question. It's 24/7. You feel me? And the beauty about even the monthly, you would only be paying monthly if you're getting the value. That's the thing. Like nothing about life is forced in that capacity. If you see so much value that you like, I don't want to leave this world because it's benefiting me consistently, right? And then land is such a powerful thing because so many of our people have been robbed of our land. You feel me? So this is a program of self-reparations, right? How do you go get that 40 acres yourself and put it back in your family? You feel me? How do you have another opportunity to where, as the world is clipping wages right now, increasing price of assets right now, you know what I mean? Decreasing human capital and skill sets, right? And essentially completely destroyed the middle class and made the gap between the lower and the higher so big that the average person can't dream of an idea, right? These type of things allow you to have confidence to be able to navigate the world, to be like, I don't know what everybody else gonna do, but this is something that I can pick up, sit at my computer, be a part of my community, have my mentors, find me deals, execute on those deals, and makes tens of thousands of dollars potentially, right? And then have a skill set that I can teach my family, have them sit their ass down, learn something, right? And this can be a leading driver of wealth as a vehicle, which then becomes a funnel that you can utilize to put towards those other things you want. Because the reason you get in land is not because you're super passionate about land, it's because you're passionate about freedom. You know what I'm saying? You're passionate about decreasing your stress, right? And not worrying about your future, right? And land is future-proof. There's always going to be some land, and there's always going to be deals and business done with lands. The land industry is not going to change because of AI. It might make it more efficient how you take the game and utilize it, but you got to remember, y'all, what you're searching for is those days where you can do whatever you want to, right? The sister said in the video when she was wearing that beautiful crown on her head, she said, I can finally take a vacation. You know what I'm saying? And the one thing that people don't have a lot of right now is time. And it's not that we don't all get the same sunrise and sunset, but in between, you don't get to decide what you want to do as the sun rises and the sun sets. And I think that that is when you are out of cosmic order, right? When you can't decide what you want to do when the sun rises and the sun set, that is not freedom. So I think what most people are finding is, how do I control my sunrise and my sunset, the time in between? And that's what I've learned in life as an entrepreneur. I've learned in life as a leader. I've learned in life that when most people are looking to jump into different things, they're looking to control their time and they don't know how to voice that, right? And so this is one of those beautiful things that I would also say, that finding a good land deal, you may not want to flip it. You might want to keep it, right? Like together, we've given away a few acres. You brother gave me an acre of land on my birthday. I'll never forget May 4th. Nobody has given me such a prize before. You know what I mean? A gift, I would say. And so what you all are doing is, you're not finding a family in here. You're finding a team in here. And the reason I want to distinctly say that is because sometimes a family don't have the same goal. The team always had the same goal, right? We in here for land and legacy.
Correct.
You understand me? And there's people on your team that will help you, right? The brother said, if you find a deal that you can't finance yourself, you can bring it to them, right? That's a team. That means that we all have the same mission, the same ideas, the same vision, right? So what you're finding in here is a team, a support system, people that you have access to, people that you can learn from, people that you can teach, people that you can reach out from. In this time and day, man, if you don't have a team, if you don't have a tribe, like, I can't do nothing without my team. I'll be honest with you, right?
That's right.
I can't do nothing without my team. If I don't have a Mechie on the team, I don't have Steve on the team, right? If I don't have Jared on the team, if I don't have the team saying that, yo, I'm going to do my job, you do your job, and we are all going towards the end goal to win, right? And the team can feel like a family, but you have to keep the importance of a team. You need a team on your side. And that's what I'm looking at with y'all brothers, is that you all are like having dream coaches, right? In this team of building wealth, buying your freedom, owning your sunrise and your sunset, so that you can live in order. So I don't want to stress off the next bill coming. I don't want to realize, I don't want to tell my child no when I'm trying to figure out how the hell to get them a gift for their birthday, right? And I don't want to stress off giving it. I don't want my girl to want to go out to dinner, you know what I'm saying, and I can't afford it. And now I'm stressing trying to figure out how to, and I don't want to tell her. Like, the freedom of being a man of your own choices, because you got the resources behind it, because you invested your money the right way, and you learned the right skill set, and you employed that skill set to execute, right? And you can even get land to set your family up for the future, to where y'all can build y'all legacy on. This is the most important thing. I don't care what's going on in social media. All this other bullshit that we pay attention to is irrelevant and means nothing. And our time is our money. So whether you spending an hour watching something, that time costs you, right? So I look at time completely as money. So I can't waste none of it, because when I'm thinking about wealth, I'm thinking about my relationship with money. It's disrespectful for me to waste my money, right? Same time, if I'm with somebody and we talking, and I got my Acre brothers here, and I'm like, you know, Acre brothers, I threw an extra little nickname on y'all, the Acre brothers. You feel me? Y'all can run with that if you want to. You feel me? The Acre brothers hit too, though. I ain't gonna lie, the Acre brothers hit. But I wouldn't want to waste y'all time. I get on the phone with y'all, I'm gonna ask you about your day, but then I'm like, bro, what's going on in the world? Like, how can we benefit each other? Because I know your time is valuable. It's not that I don't want to talk to you about your feelings, you know what I'm saying, and your emotional adversity as you're going through life. That's fine. I'm not a therapist. I want to talk about, how can we evolve? How can we help each other, assist each other? How can we use each other? Because usefulness determines your value, right? And working with you all, we always find utility of purpose for each other, right? We always saying, listen, man, I have a platform. I can reach thousands of people. I think they need to know what you all know. You feel me? So that they can feed their families in these uncertain times. Things are changing. If you was a graphic designer today, you now trying to figure out how to find you a new job possibly, or how to make a shift because open AI just dropped some AI that just took away your job, right? So finding something that is future proof, regardless of what technology, that technology shall only benefit you, make what you know more efficient so you can make quantum leaps, not take away your industry and you're trying to figure out what to do next. That's why I like the land game. You know what I'm saying? The land game gives you confidence, it gives you a surety, right? And it gives you a skill set that will last you and the future generations for a long time. And because you are in a membership, you're not on your own. Y'all are updating and evolving the information as time goes on.
Definitely. And Keys, one thing just to add to what you were saying, we are so underrepresented inside of this space. When me and Ray went to learn, we sat in the room with like, 600-700 people, and the only people in there of melanin color was me and him. That's it. And that's how I know, even to this day, that we're still underrepresented in this space. Every time that we move around the area, we go into conventions, all these things based around land, and there's almost no representation of us inside those rooms whatsoever. That's why when we bring the actual information out there into the marketplace, when people ask us what we do, they say, we tell them we sell dirt. They never understand. They talk about, no, we take an undervalued asset. We're in the, we're generating equity. That's what we're doing. Right. And based off of whether we want to keep the property or whatever the case may be, or we're going to want to go and flip it. The main thing about it is getting people to understand the valuableness inside of this land and what you can do once this information is understood.
Man, that's so powerful.
Joe Williams just signed up. Joe Williams, man, way to be an action taker, way to go out there and see that value and take that leap of faith. Inbox us directly in the community. Once you're inside, inbox me directly. I'm going to draw out a game plan for you to get you started, and we'll have a conversation about that. So congratulations.
Matter of fact, anybody that joins today, we can add them to our master's program where we do our monthly consultations. So we do monthly and sometimes bi-weekly consultations directly with me. It's the master's program. Specifically, I teach them our framework, you know what I mean, of how to develop and evolve mind. In Keyism, we go over oftentimes content, brand development, right? You get to ask direct questions, right? It's really $1 billion worth of game because you're getting direct access to me. Sometimes I'm gonna be honest, I don't feel like doing it, but when I make the commitment, I got to get it done.
That's a fact.
But it actually, what ended up happening is that when I actually turned on the camera and I talked to the community, it's not a job. You feel me? And when people can sit there and they like, bro, can you audit my business, right? Can you look at my brand? And sometimes they just need, right, some encouragement, or they need some knowledge, right, on how to develop a mind to understand the game of life, right? Like right now, what we need is wisdom and guidance. You feel me? Like I've developed a whole framework. I developed this specifically for my master's community, right? So when they ask some questions, how to stay in line, how to have a masculine mind, how to have a feminine development, right? How to communicate yourself to where you're more confident, because one of the number one things that people are afraid of is public speaking. You know what I'm saying? Like how to have a mind to where you actually execute and you take an idea and it doesn't stay a stagnant energy. Like having that consult and having a mentor that can guide you through life is how you go, not making step by step. How do we make quantum leaps right now? Because damn it, I'm gonna be honest, we ain't got much time.
Right, that's right.
And
that's right.
This ain't for everybody. These are for people who are going to execute, right? Again, the execution is what we need. We got AI, man. I went over with the team instantly. As soon as we get an updated AI, okay, how we gonna use it to benefit us, right? Like I'm gonna go over and show people how to take all of their content, how you can increase it, utilizing this new tool on Open AI. That's game that, of course, I can give out to the public, but the reality of it is, my brothers, I had asked a post earlier today. I said, who would pay for high-level conversations for $9.99 monthly, right?
Yeah, I read that.
There was a lot of people that said yes. There was some people that said absolutely no. There were some brothers that said, I can go anywhere and get content, right? And the beauty of that, there were some people that were just like, yes, I would invest in it. Of course, it changed my life, etc. And in the future, what you're going to really be focused on, not appealing to the masses, right? You're going to be appealing to the core group, right? You don't build your business with people who don't really support it. You build your business with people who really, really, really support it. You know what I mean? People who appreciate the value that you produce and is willing to invest the same way you invest in them. It is reciprocated energy. You feel me? Like that's the beauty of it. So when it comes to the future of how we're scaling things out, right? We want to continue to also mentor people on how you develop and go into mentorships and create memberships and how you can scale your business in this future world that we're going in, because things are changing faster than people can keep up with. So even in Boston, we go break down keyism philosophy, right? When it comes to this land, the sister that joined in and was able to make 19,000 and things of that nature, man, I don't know. I can't tell your members what to do, but I can tell you this, man. When you want to become more attractive to money, you increase your value and you learn something new, right? Meaning that if I talk to my brothers and I say, listen, I got this money, my money is attracted to you because my money knows that if I give you its money, then I can double my money, right? And most people don't understand this concept, right? It's the fact that you want to put your money in places to where it's going to come back and make you more. If you got lazy children and they go out in the world and every time they come back, they asking you for money, they're a liability. Get rid of them. No, I'm just saying, I'll get rid of them. Teach them something new. So when they go out there, they are part of the team, right? And adding value, right? Like the quickest way to add value into yourself is to learn something new. You become more attractive to money because money always needs to exchange to increase value. Otherwise, inflation is taking that money down. There's no such thing as saving money. Not truly, because money is always losing value. There's money that performs, right? And then there's money that loses. So when you tapped into myself, you tapped into the Acre Boys, you have mentors in life that's giving you the game on how to master the areas of life and how to unleash your potential, you know what I'm saying, and how to execute on that potential. It's hard not to make quantum leaps in life to where you saying, man, I started off and these are the days I was worried. These are the days I had anxiety and stress. And they told me not only how to use my mind, how to develop a real skill that gives me confidence so I can make money, right? And the skill sets that I will teach you, right, you can couple with land and legacy. And that will allow you, you feel me, to execute and make leaps and bounds around everybody that's around you. And you will lead everybody else that's around you. And you won't worry about them because you will have full and complete autonomy and a sovereign mind to control this matrix that we live in. But there's only so many neo minds that live in this reality. And ever since I met my brothers, Acre Boys, you understand me, or Acre Brothers, you know, they've been stand up, they've been solid. We've only had good reviews from anybody that we've recommended, right? We've only had people that come in and we're happy about it. They've been giving away land all across America. So number one, I want y'all to follow them if you haven't, you feel me? I want you to appreciate what they do. Give them a round of applause, if you will, for being some of the ones that developed that Underground Railroad, you feel me, and taking people towards wealth. Because I know, like, they have to face with the frustration of people not appreciating the game and the knowledge for what it really is. I know y'all face with the frustration of seeing people pop balloons, you know what I'm saying, but don't want to get popping on this land. You feel me? Like, I know y'all face the frustration of saying, man, our people think that we deserve something that we're not even activating for, right? There's a true frustration that goes in being somebody that's trying to consistently get a game and a knowledge to our people, and they act like it's entertainment. You feel me? When it's really enlightenment, when it's really freedom. Too many people watch the keys, right? Instead of taking them and utilizing them. Like, this ain't entertainment. These brothers really are making millions of dollars, right? Really teaching people the keys on how to build their legacy, how to get some land, how to flip some land, right? How to gain the knowledge that white people are selling for $5,000 plus $10,000 all across America right now. Y'all know about the BLM, right? Black Lives Matter, but y'all don't know about BLM, Bureau of Land Management. You know what I'm saying? See, y'all like how I flipped that, huh? Y'all ain't know I was gonna flip that like that. You feel me? I be doing some things, my brother. Yeah, y'all can use that one. It's a different BLM. The Bureau of Land Management is a different BLM, man. We've been learning about the wrong one. You feel me? So anyway, man, I'm gonna stop talking. But after just listening to that video, I was inspired because there's so many people in my family that I wish would sit down and execute. You feel me? And we can decrease the recidivism rate in America. People ain't got to do crimes. People ain't got to be stressed out. Most of the time, people not broken, they just broke. And that's because they not focusing on the right things. Like if you cut out all the noise, you clip your attention from things that are irrelevant, right? And you tap into things like this, I promise you, you're going to see the shift that you've been waiting for.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I know when we did the first talk, we had mentioned that we said that you can actually go out there and start your own communities and your own towns, name your own towns and your own blocks and all of that. That is a real statement, but you have to start to understand how the game is being played. This is happening every day across America. We have the same opportunity to do that, to come in and snatch up a 20 acre, 30 acre, 40 acre, bust it down, subdivide it, get it platted out, and start to build, whether that's tiny homes, whether that's small communities, whatever we need to do, we can do it. And it'll move a lot faster. I know because I talk to the developers. I talk to the developers that don't look like us. We have to start to thinking about moving as a unit to get these things done. We're just stronger together.
That's for sure. Keys, they got out there, they got communities, AI smart homes. I don't know if you've seen them yet, but
yes,
whole tiny community.
Bro, we don't talk enough behind the scenes, but I'm gonna share with y'all some stuff I'm working on, and it's ridiculous. And as we talk about land, I'm put this on the mind of the people. So we living in a time where it's probably the most dangerous time right now. It's the most dangerous time, but there's also so many opportunities, right? Let me fix my screen. Hold on. So we're living in a very dangerous time, but there's a lot of opportunities. So how do you win in these times? That becomes the question, right? So number one, if you look at the system in a way that is played, the system of capitalism, I would say, right? There's no way to beat the system at their own game because they control the rules. It doesn't work that way, right? You can't out tweet Elon on Twitter, right? Because you might think you got a sarcastic jab and it went viral, but he benefits from you utilizing his platform, right? It doesn't matter. He wins regardless. So as we are taking, and this is the question, like when you start making all this money from land, right? What do you do with it next? Do you then take it and circulate it in the very system that you're trying to get out of? That defeats the purpose, right? No, the goal would then be to say, okay, I need to have an ability to build my own parallel systems, right? So parallel system building will look like, if you was to take, and I think I talked to you about this before, let's say you take the land and you build transformational homes on top of it, right? So let's say $60,000 per unit, it can make you anywhere from $200,000 to $300,000. Now you can sell it or you can lease them out. Now, because they're built on top of the land, right, it doesn't come under the same tax scrutiny, right? And you can actually, they depreciate 100% from taxes. So therefore you can write these off. Now, so let's say we go give 40 acres and we build a community, right? And on those acres, let's say we build in 19 homes on each acre. You know what I'm saying? So now we can scale that out to hundreds of homes instantly. Now, if it has water rights and it has energy rights, then we can also charge the community for that consumption of that water and those energy, right, that's on the land, right? If we got a well in the system. If we don't, of course, then we'll just use what comes from the city, right? Now, this is not theory. This is not projection of anything. This is what's happening in real time, right? What people are doing in real time. Number one, is because in the average city in America, the average household income is not enough to afford to buy a house anymore. So that means the American dream is dead, right? The whole entire idea of the American dream is one day you get to buy a house. So what they said is you will own nothing and be happy. So what is the secondary American dream? So the idea is, how do you create secondary systems? Now, again, we are not appreciating this idea, these new digital networks that utilize blockchain technology that allow us to be successful. So on those same networks, let's say my brothers have a 5K club. Everybody's putting in $5,000 inside of this. Now, let's say they wanted to do that on a DAO system, right? A DAO system allows everybody to see the money and then vote where the money goes, right? So now a person don't be wondering whether they trust somebody. They saying, oh, well, I trust the technology works. I'll put this in here, which essentially becomes an escrow. And now you're building out an economy to say we have this money collected and we can buy any asset that we want to. You know what I'm saying? Now, you then can become a digital citizen and have a digital ID, right? You become a part of a community. Again, this is not theory. We just don't study these things and we don't realize they're being built around us. So they're called network nations. So network nations are being built out to where you take digital communities and you turn them into physical communities to where you have a diaspora network. So buying land is essential because then when you have land deals, you always have a community that you can go to purchase those assets. Then you can decide what you want to do with it, whether there's living on it, whether there's flipping it, whether there's leasing it, regardless, right? So building a parallel world is the only thing that will be a liberation for us in the future when we're looking back 50 years to 100 years from now and saying, okay, how did they exist at the same time that other communities was building out these systems, right? And the only thing they was doing was getting money. And now we're supposed to complain about other communities because our ancestors did not execute with all the opportunities. So when you're not learning land, you're not learning blockchain, you're not learning AI, you're not learning crypto, which means that we can also have our own currency system and models that operate within it, which is what every country is doing, right? Which is what Facebook tried to do with Libra coin, which I'm sure they're gonna figure out how to do again, which is Donald Trump is doing with the Liberty Network right now. They're creating their own stable coin for the government. These are not things, these are a whole new world is being built all around us. So these are not skill sets, right, that you can afford to ignore. These are things that you have to learn if you want to, at minimum, survive and at maximum evolve. That's right. So do we want to live independency or do we want to live in liberation where we sovereign and we control our time? So when I hear Acre Boys, and I'm gonna tell y'all my brothers, I want to introduce y'all to the brother if y'all haven't met with him. We met with the president of the Black Farmers Association, and he is the one who won the reparations case to get the billions of dollars for all of the farmers. So we're gonna have him on high level, right? He represents hundreds of thousands of farmers all across the nation. You know what I'm saying? It's a network. He wants to produce more infrastructure behind what he's doing. So I definitely want to connect him with y'all because there's an opportunity to where there's a lot of aging elders that have land, right? But of course, they're too old to do anything with it. So does it go away? In Japan, there's a system to where young men are being adopted by families when there's an elder that has a business but doesn't have an heir, right? So they typically will marry into that family to take over that business if they're suitable and noble enough. The Black community, we don't have such a system. So therefore, nothing is being passed down. So if we're training the people, teaching them about the land, we got the farmers teaching them how to grow on the land, how to farm the land. Then we have people that are passionate about it, right? You see how this, and then we can add the technology and the ecosystem. You see how this develops into these parallel grids and these parallel nations and parallel networks instantly. So this is the game we'll talk about, you know, the details of it behind the scenes. You all can get access to an idea. Idea means nothing without execution and access. So that's why people ain't gonna mind sharing with y'all any information in the world nowadays, because that's not the value. The value is the access and the execution. Because there's always something that is not shared in the public. And it's usually a small tweak or two that allows you to make those quantum leaps. That's the, the clear net is great, right? The internet is great. You can learn so much. And then the rest of the time you're piecing it together to figure it out. We want to give you a work of art already done that's valuable.
100%, brother. 100%. You know what I mean? 100%. And I think that now is the right time for people to get involved and learn these skills, processes, and systems. Like I said, the world is only speeding up. You know, the shelf knowledge of what we know now is being outdated faster and faster and faster. You know what I mean? And if you're not in the process of constantly learning, you will get left behind. It's going to happen. You know what I mean? So staying involved. That's why we continue education. We continue going to these land seminars and see the different things that are going inside of space, so we can bring that to the community and other people can indulge in the same thing and get those resources in real time. You know what I mean?
That's a fact. So listen, everybody go hit 19keys.com/land. if you appreciate this, man, drop some fire emojis in here. Make sure that you all also pull up to Boston. We got some surprises for Boston. You know, in New York, of course, we had Jaylen Brown there. It was a powerful event. It's going viral all over because my brother was speaking some truth that people in his position don't normally speak.
Hey, Keys, where can I get tickets for that?
You go to 19keys.com/tour. If you know anybody in Boston that should be highlighted while we're there, please tap in with us. But get your tickets, get your VIP tickets as well before they sell out. And make sure you get your early bird tickets. Again, that is 19keys.com/tour. It's going to be a powerful one. I don't do any stop the same. And this one, I got a whole philosophy, and I got some surprise guests that y'all gonna love. And it's gonna be one of those ones to where people will be like, God damn, why didn't I show up? And I don't know. You know, that's on you, but I will.
Well, you gotta be responsible for that.
I'm just saying that is because it's one of those things. You know, we sold out the New York stop, and a lot of people was like, "Damn, I wish I would have went." And
Peace.
it's like,
then we didn't just sell out. Acre Boys gave out an acre of land.
yeah, they gave out an acre of land there. I mean, we had celebrities. It was star-studded. It was magnificent. You feel me? It was beautiful.
Excellent name.
And I think a lot of people, you know, it's one of those times. It ain't a revolution; it's an evolution. You feel me? And during your evolution, you have to evolve as well. You have to evolve the places you go to, the people that you speak to, your taste. You have to mature in your ideas, your philosophies that you consume. And we want to be able to curate that. Like, where can you go when you're evolving in life? And the high level tour is one of those places you can go to. The Save Yourself tour is when you go to when you're in your mode of evolution and you're making a quantum leap, right? And you want to be around wealth, and you want to experience knowledge, right? And you want to have new strategies for the future so that you're confident about your freedom and your execution and your time deployment. You feel me? Like, you want to learn philosophy that you can live off for the next 100 years. That's when you show up to the Save Yourself tour. It's an experience, right? So make sure y'all show up to the tour, right? Make sure y'all go tap into the previous tours, and you will see my brother Acre Boys on those videos of 19 Keys on my YouTube, right? And make sure y'all join Land and Legacy tonight. I look forward to seeing those who will be added into the Masters program, which is of a $5,000 value already. And they didn't know I was going to add that. I was just inspired. So make sure y'all lock in.
You better take advantage of that offer. Discount code will disappear at midnight, and Keys just throw in his master class. So I don't think you're gonna find that anywhere else. It's definitely not advertised online.
Packed with value, for sure.
Ends at midnight, so that gives you some time crunch. I didn't know they was gonna say that either. So, but peace to the family, man. Peace to the gods. I really appreciate y'all. Is there anything else you want to say? We have almost 2,000 people watching on Twitter.
Oh, we just want to say, once again, thank you for having us. And our job is to make this look normal as possible. We want this to be the new normal. We can participate in the same system that everybody has been taking advantage of for years. This is not new practices. This is actually quite old. And we just need to bring awareness to this so our people could take advantage of this, so we can go out and save ourselves and save our family, because there's a lot of land that's just laying dormant. As we stated, there's a lot of things that we can do with land. Like you were saying, you have the farmer. We do have a new program that we're set to drop to. That's called Acre Boys Farming. We definitely need to chat behind us about that, because once you get that land, you don't always have to flip it. If you want to hold on to it, and if you want to learn how to self-sustain yourself, you can do that with little as a 0.1 of an acre. You don't need acres to start to self-sustain yourself with food as far as farming. So we'll be teaching people that in the near future, how to farm for profit if you want to make profit from farming, how to farm from your windowsill if you live in New York City in the projects. There's no excuses. All we are looking for is people that's ready to work, people that's ready to take these techniques and strategies and put them to use and implement, and everything will work out. You truly do have to save yourself, because ain't nobody coming to help you. They haven't came all these years, and they're not going to come, so you're going to have to save yourself.
How many of y'all would live on land? I just got that question. How many of y'all would live on land? How many of y'all tired of the city and y'all want to live on land and produce your own? Right, that's a question I had posted to Twitter. There's a lot of people saying that they would. you know.
Yeah, sure. I think what happened with a lot of that, even during COVID, what's happened is they were making these Zoom cities. Zoom cities were the places that were outside of the city limits where there typically was no zoning at. So it became really, really popular during COVID when they were telling people, stay apart or whatever the case may be. And actually studying the data, the uptick is saying that the rural markets are expanding like crazy because people wanted better quality of your life. They wanted more space, different things like that. And they're getting these places at lower denominations than what they will have getting in the city. So people are saying, well, why would I stay out there when I get a better quality of life and still have access to the city, but 20-minute, half an hour ride? So that's what the data is showing now. And yeah, it's real popular right now, extremely. That's why our biggest seller is outside of the city limits where there's no zoning and no restrictions.
And we have to be smart. We have to go where we can afford. If you have major coin, then have at it. Feel free to participate and compete with the major players. But most of us come in, we have to start where our coin will allow us to play at. There's a certain part in Georgia right now that's appreciating so fast that if you miss this opportunity, you're going to wait another 5 to 10 years before you see another boom like this. It will continue to happen, as I stated about Arizona. Why is desert land selling for multi-million dollars? Because they know something that you don't know. It's been happening for the past 3 years. That same desert land, if you would have got it 10 years ago, you could have got it for a couple of thousand. And this is how the elites stay on top of the game and stay elite, because they're positioning themselves ahead of time and studying markets, and they're stating where we're going next. And that's what they don't want you to know. What's coming next? Rural markets have to come next because there's nowhere else to build. So you have to take what's available, and they'll make that popular.
Bro, I'm telling you, we gonna see a boom in the land market, because what we haven't seen, right, is this new utility of land, right? Like, I'm telling you, it's gonna be all these micro cities that pop up, right?
Yes,
like,
absolutely.
look at Mr.
Absolutely.
Beast building his own, Elon Musk building his own. You see Saudi Arabia with their new line. These are gonna be called like designer cities, right? And what we haven't seen is like this utility of land, number one, outside of farming, you feel me? Because as everybody's concentrated in the city, that's really probably the biggest issue, is that we're all stacked on top of each other. So then there's going to be this expansion outward where people start building these communities, and you won't have access to it, right? Unless you have your own. So segregation ain't gonna happen inside the city. You're going to see a city that was built on top of this farm, and you're gonna wish you had access, and they're gonna be like, nope, you don't have membership, right? And it's private. So like private cities, you know what I'm saying? Because if I got my own, I'm enforcing my rules. Everybody can't come in. You got to at least be a 9 and up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I got to only be beautiful people in my city. That's what I'm saying.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
No, I'll be beautiful by the heart, man. Look at people talking about, man, that just excluded me. Nah.
Like Ray said, HOAs set their own bylaws, man. Once you go ahead and acquire, you get to set your own rules.
Yeah. What you think
like that, and that's the kind of time we need to be on. That's for sure.
What you think of? What you think he's limiting, taking all these rules away in the first place for? You know what I'm saying? It's not just for this idea of segregation as you think it. It's so that we can create private cities. The privatization of America is here, right? It's taking away big government, right? Giving power to states, and then ultimately privatizing every market that it is America. From education to housing, healthcare, right? Everything will be privatized. So now when you privatize land and the cities are going down, but then there's a real area right outside the city, right, that looks divine that you can't have access to, you'll be like, man, I remember when 19 Keys and Acre Boys was trying to give me this gang, right? Now you mad because you in a rundown city. There's no jobs, there's no economy, it's not thriving, there's no nightlife. Right? The new technology of the future hasn't been installed because they didn't go through the bureaucracy of stripping out infrastructure. They wanted to start somewhere raw and complete where they can build on top of. And now you mad at 19 King because he ain't giving you access to his city. You feel me? But I don't know you like that. You know what I'm saying? Like my stuff was built for my community. I told people years and years, join in. And people was like, nah, I'm cool. I'd rather watch you. Well, then watch.
Right. That's a fact.
I'm just warning y'all now.
Without you.
Yeah, this is it's going down. No matter whether you think you're participating or you don't think you're participating, it's happening regardless of what any of us think. It's happening. The question is, are you going to be a participant or an observer? That's only two. It's only two.
And ponder on this: Las Vegas, one of the most visited places in the country. It's only 100 years old, a little over 100 years old.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Watch the new Las Vegas is pop up. They've been trying, but the bureaucracy is what have stopped them for all this time. Right? Imagine if today they changed the FHA requirements in communities across America. How drastic would America change overnight? They have complex laws that keep things in place, but the whole entire idea of this new administration is to strip all the bureaucracy away. Right? So you can benefit if you're in place. If you're not in place, you don't benefit. The world will benefit owners. Everybody else will have to rent and lease, and assets will be so high, you won't be able to buy it even if you work for 100 years. Right? So I want you all to think about that. Asset prices rise. So when you getting a land for cheap, the world realizes it and say, damn, my money in the stock market not going nowhere. Crypto ain't performing the way I want to. Let me put my money in land somewhere safe. That's what they do when they're investing in bonds. You know what I'm saying? Then you have baby boom. You have the boom generation going to die off. And a lot of them, their land is going to be in probate court. It's going to go to the government because they don't have any heirs. You come in, swoop that up. You buy it. Asset prices go up. You flip it or you keep it. It's up to you. But this is an industry for people who understand where the future is going. They learn the skill. And then they're able to execute on the flow of transactions that's happening from this new world being built out.
In a nutshell, that's what's going on.
Hey, listen, I listen to y'all. I understand. I'll be listening, my brother. I understand what's going on. Somebody got to make money off the new world being built. You know what I'm saying? You literally get to be an operator and being the one who is in the middle of the transaction. And then when you get enough money, you keep some for yourself.
Right.
So you saying, damn, I just make money off flipping the land because this person, I was able to show them this deal. I made $100,000. Now you keep going, you get enough money and say, okay, now I'm gonna just keep this land instead of flipping it because this is the piece I want for my family. So like when you get something that represents and fits inside your vision, then stay there. You feel me? But work your way until you can afford that. Because right now, grocery store prices are so goddamn high. You know what I mean? You got to flip 40 acres just to get 2 eggs. You know what I'm saying? Instead, you can go on the farmland and then you can make chickens have sex with each other and you have all the land you want to.
Right. They don't know you can take buy inexpensive land and start to raise chickens. I know this sounds foreign to a lot of us, especially those that live in urban areas, but this is what's happening. To buy baby chicks, it's only like $2 a chick. It's not expensive. It just has to be something that you want to get involved with. And most of us don't want to go against what we're accustomed to doing. That's why our job is just to, as I stated, to make this be cool, make this normal. That's why we're coming up with Acre Boys Farming. So you'll see people that look like yourself that's out there doing these things because you want to beat the price of eggs, then go get your own hens and raise them up. It's not a hard job, but it is hands-on, right? We're so caught up in, we keep this in our hands, but we're going to have to take this back to the dirt. We're going to have to put our hands back in the dirt and take back some of our power because that's where the money is at. That's when you know what you're eating and what's going into your body because you're physically growing it yourself. So it's just time for us to start to get back to what we was originally made to do, and that's be out there in nature and doing these things, putting our hands and feet in the dirt.
Yeah, for sure. We've been to some chicken farm keys where the guy at the chicken farm, they're doing $70,000, $80,000 a month. Got the whole system. Like there's so many asset classes that are so hidden in plain sight is what I like to call it, that you wouldn't even think that they're making a lot of money, but they're killing them out there and they're doing it based off of the dirt. They're doing it based off of the land.
And some of these rule markers will allow you to go into business for yourself. as we stated, some of our people, we think that all we can do with land is develop it, and that's far from the truth. You can take a 2-acre piece of land. There's some guys that we rub shoulders with. They're out in Louisiana. They have a place, an ATV. They turned their whole place into an ATV park. It's called Throw That Dirt. They lease it, they rent it out to people to come and ride their ATVs there, and they're running a full-fledged business there. What does that take? All that takes is just cutting down some trees and making some trails and some paths that go through the land. That is it. That is a business in a box for them at this point. They don't work traditional jobs because they took their land and they found out how they could monetize it for recreational uses.
They got people flying all over the world to come there to ride, and they're making major money out there. So only thing it takes is a little creativeness and to be able to get involved in some industries that are not popular or not advertised like that, because there's so many of them out there, especially when it comes to dealing with land. That's what you
see. We going after the wrong chicks. That's the problem. Y'all going after the wrong chicks. Next time you think about chicks and sex, I want you to think about chickens. You know what I'm saying? I want you to think about chickens. That's the problem. You need to switch your mind up. You understand me? When you talk about you chasing chicks, man, no, man.
They're going after the wrong chicks.
They're going after the wrong chicks. You feel me?
The other one is adding.
Yeah. Imagine you tell a woman, baby, I got enough chicks. I need a real woman. You'll be like, what the hell that mean? Baby, I got a farm. Hey, I got a farm. You feel me? It's different.
Completely.
And unfortunately, this conversation we have, it sounds so foreign to a lot of us, but this needs to be normal. I mean, rural numbers, we talk about it a lot. We own less than 3% of all commercial land, less than 2% of all agricultural land, and forget about it when it comes to farming. We're less than 1% of all farmers and farmerettes. We pretty much don't exist in that space at this point.
And we don't have nobody to blame but ourselves.
Yeah.
I think that's the beauty. But at some point in time, it got to start, and there's no better day to start than today. You feel me? Like my family had some land that was left. And the problem that ended up happening is, number one, it wasn't enough. Because number two, when you think about all your ancestors, yes, they should have left us more land, right? And we can dwell on the past, or we can be the future. We can be the generation that say, man, I want my niece or my future lineage to be able to inherit something. So they not fighting for space, right? And a 300 square foot apartment. No, they building their own world on their own land. Like, what is a greater gift to a future generation to be safe? You know what I'm saying? Than to have land that they can inherit, that they can wake up with the sun. You feel me? And they living happy on the land, and they're able to cultivate their own food, right? And they're free from worrying about patrol of police officers or worrying about what's going on in the government or some city situation that's happening. But instead they get to wake up and spread their arms and feel safe and walk outside and ground. You feel me? And not be ran by the clock, but be in cosmic order with the sun. I just find something beautiful about that whole entire idea, because I wish I grew up like that. I didn't want to have to become as rugged as I am growing up in the city. You know what I mean? In the streets of Oakland and St. Louis. No, I wish I would have grew up on a goddamn farm. You feel me? Eating organic food, not worrying about all this veganism stuff that we got to learn the ingredients to every single thing. Everything is harmful to it. There's a problem with it. I seen the brother talking about water as a scam. I said, God damn, you can't drink water? I said, nah, man, I ain't got time for that. See, when you live on a farm, they don't get none of this news you get. They know about real food, what they shape with their hands. They understand living with the land and being indigenous with it and being in harmony with the land. So I like what my brother say. It's a dirty business. You feel me? But it's a business where you keep your hands clean. Hold on, how you say it? Y'all said it's smooth.
Right. One of ours is invest in dirt. It's the cleanest way to
there
make money.
Go. Invest in dirt. It's the cleanest way to get by.
Cleanest way to make money. That's for sure,
man. But my brothers, I don't want to take any more of your time. I appreciate you. I know the people only got a few hours to jump in. Make sure y'all use promo code 19 Keys. If you're ready to invest in land, right? If you're ready to start that legacy and control your time and your freedom, right? And to be able to move about this world knowing that you're an owner, you understand me, and having that confidence as you move throughout this world. I need y'all to press yes, but in that, you have to first be deserving of it, right? And a lot of people don't feel like they deserve things, which is why we don't make a lot of investments, right? A lot of us think about, where we come from, and some of us carry so much trauma and so much guilt and so much shame, and it's not until you change your beliefs, right, about what you believe and what you deserve. Like, I deserve land. I deserve to be an owner of land. I deserve to control my time. I deserve to say what I want to move how I want to. I deserve to be stress-free in life and not worry about bills. I deserve to have a skill set that gives me the confidence to move throughout this world and know my value. Like, these are things that I deserve, and you got to rewire the way that you're thinking and your mentality. And then you make different decisions with your mind, your time, and your money, and the people that you hang around with, right? You first have to realize, like, you deserve this first. And in that deserving, right, that's when God opens up his gifts for you. Because if you don't deserve it and you don't feel like you deserve it, that means you're not matching the qualities that produce the rewards. Because that's what to deserve means. It means to serve fully, right? So what are you serving fully right now in your life? Are you serving fully the opportunities to build wealth? Are you serving fully, right, self-liberation? Are you serving fully your highest self? Because when we're split and we got our attention on, maybe I'm gonna be gossip 10% of the time, 50% of the time. Maybe I'm gonna focus on spending my money on bullshit half of the time, and then 10% of the time I say, you know what? I'm gonna listen to some knowledge that makes sense. Yeah, that ain't deserving. You're not serving fully. You're not feeding yourself fully what you know is gonna nourish your future, right? So some of us have dehydrated futures because we're not nourishing it. The future is an entity that you have to nourish. You know what I'm saying? Your future is piss poor because you ain't doing nothing right now to feed it. So when we are investing in our mind, right, we investing in our time, when we're around the right people, we elevate ourselves. So therefore, we have a future that we want to live. How are you excited about your future right now? If you're not, it lets you know that you don't deserve it, which means that you're not acting in the qualities to produce the rewards. So serve fully your future. Cut out the scrolling, right? Cut out the anxiety and the stress. Stop over worrying about things. Matter of fact, to make the biggest leaps in life, you just develop the skills and the confidence and relax. I ain't got to try too hard. You get in there, I learn the game. I'm in a relaxed mode and I'm just executing, because the universe don't care about your feelings, care about your actions. If you do the actions, you will gain the reward. See, some people, they overthinking about their feeling. Oh, I lost because I wasn't feeling this good, so I didn't manifest. No, it's because you didn't do the goddamn work. You didn't do the work. If you do the work, you learn the game, and then you go in there and you find the deal, right? You follow the strategies, the step 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you bring it to the next step and say, yo, I found the deal. What do I do next? Right? Then you execute on that. The universe didn't care how you felt during that process. It will reward the action. That's the beauty. And this is what a lot of people ain't going to tell you about this whole manifestation stuff. The universe rewards actions, not feelings, because you can sit at home imagining being wealthy for the rest of your life. But will you be? Or you can do the actions of every wealthy man. So when you ask yourself, how the hell is people wealthy, right, but they feel poor? Because some people are wealthy and depressed. It's only because they did the actions that wealthy people do. So when you think about that, then you say, wait a minute. If they can be depressed and make millions and billions, then what's this manifestation shit then? They was telling me that all my emotions had to be perfectly aligned with every goal that I've ever had. But the difference is that they know and believe. See, when you do something, you know it. When you do something, I know I'm going to get the reward because I'm doing it. So your subconscious mind is in alignment with your actions, and you actually start to believe it, right? Whether you know it or not. You know every single day, if I turn on my phone and I commit to an action, I will get the results, right? If I turn on my computer and I follow instructions, I will get the result. The only thing you then figure out, how do I tweak what I'm doing to get better results? That's it. All right, so my brothers, you know what? I tried what y'all told me, I didn't get the results I wanted. What do you think I'm doing wrong? Well, let me give you my experience. How did you do this? And you're like, oh, I never thought about that. Let me go back and tweak. You go back and tweak, you get the results. Now you feel good about what you've done. Now you develop a system to where you repeat those results over and over and over. If you ever notice successful people, they don't do something that requires a lot of passion and a lot of love. They find something that works well and they try to squeeze every ounce out of it that they can until it's no longer working, and then they pivot, damn it. And that's how they become wealthy. It's systematic wealth. It ain't passion based, right? You don't go to somebody that's a capital ventures and talk about just your passions. You give them the plan and the systems. Yeah, sometimes they'll take a wild idea. Most of the time, you give them your numbers, your back end, your systems, your IP, how this all blend together, how it's going to make a repeated return, and they invest as much money as they possibly can into it, right? So when you have an action of successful people, all you got to do is, if you want to get the same results as Acre Boys do, I promise you, you do.
And I gotta just give a big shout out to Rhonda Crawford. My team just notified us. She just took the leap and came into the community. So
shout out to Rhonda.
Congratulations, Miss Rhonda Crawford. Same advice I gave to the brother. Inbox me immediately once you're inside of the community. I want to have a conversation with you and give you a blueprint and that best fits where you're trying to go. We can do that sometime tomorrow. Just simply inbox us and we'll put a game plan together for you for sure.
Well, listen, I think you all get the point, but I really drive these things home. I was talking to my younger brother about this earlier. That's what got me to the point of talking about family and team. And I was talking to my brother Wall Street Trapper, and we were just talking about this idea. There's a lot of people who follow the faith, but they don't follow their father, right? Mm-hmm. And the idea of it is that there's a lot of people who Christians, who Muslims, right? And faith is the entry that gets you in the door. When God tells you to do something, you just have faith. And he say faith of a mustard seed is just enough. But why would you want to only have faith of a mustard seed? What goes beyond faith is when you have the knowledge, the wisdom, then understanding. There's levels. So it's saying that, man, I heard y'all. I have faith. I'm going to jump in. Then you get the knowledge, right? Then you get to their level. You start to develop the wisdom from the experience over time. Right. And then when you master it, you have an understanding completely of the game, how it was made. Now you can do things in creative ways if you want to. A lot of people, they might follow Christianity, might follow Islam, might follow their favorite person, but they're following the faith, meaning that I will just mimic what you do. But once you actually follow the Father, you know what I mean? Now you're doing what he does. See, there's a lot of Christians that don't do what Jesus does. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people who may listen to an influencer, but they won't do what they do, right? Are you following the faith of something worth it? Or are you following the Father, and the Father actions showcase understanding, right? So your goal in this time and age is to become a master at something. If you so happen to want to be a master at land and legacy and right, finding these tax strategies, fine. If you want to be a master at developing your mind so you can do anything in this world, right? Make sure you tap in so you can get the mentorship. But the beauty of it is that follow the Father. You know what I mean? Not just the faith. The faith just gets you in the door, because sometimes God will tell you to do things and you don't understand. And you ain't got to understand, right? So just have faith. But once you get in the door, you should be working on mastery and developing understanding so you can follow the Father for real. So therefore, he can put more burden on your plate and you can have more execution so he can utilize you for his people to do better things. And that's what happens when you have wealth and you have resources. These brothers, they didn't know. Somebody told them, go to this place, pay $5,000, go to this webinar. They had faith. They went there. Then they developed the knowledge. The knowledge became fruitful after they executed. Then they developed wisdom, and then they learned hacks and things that they didn't know at first that nobody would tell them, right? Then they started to gain understanding. Now they ain't got to have faith in it. On their bad days, they can make money because they understand it. That faith sometimes become bipolar because it depends on how you feel about something. Once you develop an understanding, they don't give a damn about your feelings. You become wealthy through your ups and your downs. That's true success. But listen, man, I'm done. I'm done. Make sure y'all join in. Man, I'm feeling good this morning. I wasn't even planning on talking. I was just planning on listening, but y'all just inspired me, man. And I know somebody gonna take that word and
sure.
evolve their life with it. You know what I'm saying? Have
Most
an understanding. Yes, it requires faith. Faith is the investment, right? That gets you to belief, gets you to knowledge, wisdom, and understanding.
Right. That's right. That's right. Follow those steps. You know what I mean? I believe that, you know, even based off of things, you know, based off of reading and personal experiences, different things like that, everything that's been placed in front of you is put there for you to actually see. You know what I mean? The question is, do you know opportunity? And do you notice opportunity when you see it? And are you going to take action and do something about it? You know what I mean? I think that's the difference. Nothing is, my father used to always tell me before, things don't just happen, things happen just. You know what I mean? And even the things that you may not understand at that particular time, later on, you understand. Even when Steve Jobs said in his commencement speech, he was like, you can't trace the dots going forward, you can only trace them going backwards. And once you understand that, all of the things that you thought were maybe something that you thought went wrong or whatever the case may be, were intricate in you seeing things from the viewpoint that you need to see them at in order to actually get to that place that you actually desire. You know what I mean? So definitely been aware of that for a while. Ooh. So nothing's a mistake. You know what I mean? Everything is done with intention and purpose, for sure.
I was talking with the Masters Club about this, and we was talking about making quantum leaps in life because, you know, again, there was this this video on Twitter. There was these two young Asian girls, and they were both doing a math problem, right? And one was from China, one was from South Korea, right? And I believe the South Korean girl, it took her about 10 steps to complete. The Chinese girl took her about 3 steps to complete the same exact problem, right? The difference was on how they were taught to solve the problem, right? She was taught a completely different arithmetic than the other girl. Same exact problem, different teacher, right? So in South Korea, they teach you to solve it in 10 steps, so it's automatically going to take you longer. You know what I mean? In China, they teach it from a different arithmetic, so you get it quicker. So it's almost the difference of trying to do it by yourself, right, and getting a mentor. You may be able to get there eventually, but it's going to be way more steps, right? And so when people tell us go step by step, don't skip steps, okay, that's fine. But what about the beginning origin of how we learn to solve the problem in the first place? See, sometimes you can go off of intuitive thinking and be counterintuitive and say, no, I don't want to go step by step. I want to make a quantum leap. What if I don't want to go 1,000 to 10,000 to 100,000? What if I want to go straight to 100,000? Now, a teacher may say, well, that's not the world we live in. Today, they can't say that. Today, we have more resources in this time that some of you all may learn this game and go further than both of us because you understand it in a different way. You can make a quantum leap. That's the beauty of when you learn something, you now have it to use it in your way, right? But the mentor allows you to get the problem solved much faster. And the problem today is wealth. How do we accumulate it? Well, you go to a job, the steps to getting wealthy is very long, right? You can develop the right skill set and the steps to getting that wealth is much shorter. So you got two people solving the same problem, but they got different teachers. And that's what allowed them to get to the solution much quicker. So when I think about mentors, right, and I think about learning skills, I always want to be like the girl in China, right, that got it done much faster. Because the other person gonna say, well, mine's is right too. Yeah, it's right, but it's not as effective as the teaching method that I learned. It's not as effective. Yes, I never said you was wrong, but we live in 2025 and you're operating off outdated models of problem solving. You understand me? So I'm always figuring out what is in AI, they call it knowledge refresh, right? And knowledge refresh means that it's a cutoff date for when the machine had been trained and learned. So if you ask it about something that happened today and they say, well, look, I only got knowledge, it cut off 2019. Right? So that means it can't utilize none of the new discoveries, none of the new resources, none of the new ways of thinking to solve problems, right? And so many of us, our knowledge cutoff date, right, was the last thing that we learned about something and we never got a refresh. Oh, it was college. It was high school. It was when our friend told us about something. Somebody told us about wealth and finances, and that was our last thing that we knew. And we've been operating off that knowledge ever since, right? And it's being outdated. And with Matt, we're not getting the results because you have not refreshed the knowledge so that it is actually in today's time. Because there are so many things that we think that are outdated, and until you go and refresh, right? You will never live in this time. You will never get the benefits of this time.
All facts. All facts.
With that, I close.
Fact, yo, definitely.
All right. Well, we appreciate y'all. Appreciate the sermon Keys gave. Let the church say amen. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Definitely gave some game, but we appreciate that because we need to have the right mindset. A lot of times we have the information, but Keys is an excellent, orator, and being able to give people the right mindset when they're dealing with all this information is so key. Because providing so much information, you already mentioned YouTube University, things out there that people can access. But, one of the main reasons people go to college is the same reason, to get organization of that information, to be in a community, to be in a group, to have somebody distill it, to have teachers, to have people who are guiding you through. So with that being said, we definitely thank the Acre Boys for all the information, all the knowledge. Once again, 19keys.com/land, promo code 19keys for all the deals that are going off today. So make sure you do that. Make sure you tap in. And once again, 19keys.com/tour if you want to see 19 Keys live in Boston, April 12th. It's going to be an amazing event. Anchor Boys were there for the New York event we had last month. We want to see you all there in April. Next week, we're going to have a great speaker as well. So make sure y'all stay tuned, 19keys.com/learn. We posting out the information, getting the flyer out of who we'll have coming on next week to give some more value. Look, if you're enjoying these sessions, these high-level live webinar sessions that we've been doing on a weekly basis, we need to make sure y'all tap in, and we need to make sure y'all share it with a friend, share it with a family member, share it with your network. We want to have twice as many people in here next week. We want to just continue to grow. We had thousands of people here on the stream. So we appreciate all y'all who tapped in and joined. If you want to see the replay of this webinar, if you didn't catch the full thing, right? You came in the middle, you were at work, you heard about this last minute. We will have a replay available again in the high level community and on 19keys.com/land. So stay tuned for that as well. With that being said, we appreciate y'all for tapping in. We're going to end the webinar there. Acre Boys, thank y'all so much. Appreciate y'all.
Hey, salute, my brothers. Let's build this week.
For sure. Yes, sir.
All right, family. There you have it, man. Again, I wasn't even going to speak at all on this webinar because I feel like their value that they provide was enough already. But I ain't gonna lie, I be feeling it sometime. You know what I'm saying? I be feeling it. And I know so many people on this planet at this point in time. You know what I mean? I know a lot of valuable people, and we shouldn't ever have to, sell anything, if you will. But you had to give people the reason why it's so important. Because I see so many people asking for what they're not ready to receive. What I mean by that is that there's so many people who want to be free, right? There's so many people who want to be liberated, who want to be stress-free in life, but they're not ready for what they're asking for. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not really ready. And we scapegoat our responsibility and looking for what's wrong with the world instead of looking at ourselves, right? And most of the time it is about what we are doing. It is never about what somebody's doing to us. It is about what we're doing to ourselves, right? And what we're not doing for ourselves. So I like to eliminate our excuses. So by giving us alternatives that we can execute, now you can't have excuses. So now you're like, God damn, man, Keys and took away another excuse of mine, right? I used to say, I don't know. I used to say, I didn't know where to get it. I want to eliminate every excuse that you have. In a high level club, that's what we're doing. Like a lot of those sessions, those are usually closed sessions that you don't get to hear, right? But today we was feeling it because we're not about to do man to man today. And I said, well, let's at least make this one live so people outside can get benefit of things that are usually just on the inside, right? But imagine if you have some of that type of energy and knowledge in your life week to week, right? On a month basis. In the high level club, we do at least one consultation call per month. The high level club is not $2,400, it's $44 per month. You know what I'm saying? So how many people would benefit from being a part of, right, a community? We got the book club, we have the high level university that you get access to, you have our webinars you get access to, and you get access to me monthly in our consultation calls as a mentorship, so you develop a bulletproof mind and have the keys to life. How many people will benefit from that particularly? Put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat. That's what we want to tap into this one, particularly when we're talking about the high level club. So make sure you go to 19keys.com. Make sure you join in on this discussion. That is some of the most powerful things that I can do for you all right now. Because as we build the community out, then the benefits of being a part of the community, right, is what you get access to. But I can't work with everybody. Honestly, I don't want to work with everybody. My time is valuable. Your time is valuable. You understand me? So there we have it. We've had a good time talking to you all. We're going to continue to build. But without execution, nothing gets built. So make sure y'all continue to lock in. Make sure y'all continue to build. And I would love to see y'all in Boston. We will have a good time. Yeah, share this video out to somebody who needs to hear the message today and needs some alternative strategies for them to be able to build wealth. That's what it's all about. Let me see. Is there any questions you all have before I go? Any questions you all have before I go? Let me know. Go to 19keys.com/learn. But beyond that, I think we've done our job here. Peace to